ready, big? Me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome to Washington football overtime. Washington 29, Buccaneers 19. What in the hell was that? What a pleasant surprise off the bye. And I would love to give a shout out to a lot of you Washington fans that predicted this victory. Generally, I don't like giving credit for people calling victories in improbable situations because it's easy to do that. There's no penalty for saying, hey, we're going to win this week. Fans do it all the time. And, you know, it's one thing to say you're going to lose and you lose. It's one thing to say you're going to win and you win. But when you say it all the time, it's hard to give credit. But there were actually people predicting scores, and I mocked one of them. And I said, look, you really think Brady's only going to score 20 points against this defense? Seriously? They scored 19, and they missed an extra point. So his score would have been right on the money. He predicted 23-20. We scored a touchdown, obviously, at the end to make it 29, but he was spot on for most of the game. You know, if that extra point goes through the uprights. Nonetheless, how sweet it is to finally get a victory after over a month of being dressed in all black like the Omen. We hadn't won a game since week 4. It's week 10. And some of the stats that they were throwing out during this game, just utterly ridiculous. Like the first time Washington's had a lead of 6 points, haven't had a lead of 7 this season until this game when we were up 13-0 against the Buccaneers. Are you kidding me? So that means we hadn't won a game this year by more than double digits. Obviously, we won 2 nail biters. So, of course, that makes sense. And then, you know, there was another stat where we hadn't scored on all 4 of our first half possessions since like 2006 or some crazy number like that. I don't know what year it was. It just hadn't been in a long time. Like a lot of firsts were achieved in this game. And I want to give one more shout out to my guy, B Militant, because on Twitter, we went back and forth on Thursday night when the Dolphins were commencing their big time upset over the Baltimore Ravens. And he said, look, if the 3-7 now, but 2-7 Dolphins can come out and fight the way that they did against the Ravens, there's no excuse why we can't come out and fight against. He said, well, now I'm not expecting a win, but we should come out and we should fight. Well, that's exactly what we did. We didn't only come out and fight. We won. And I was the mob. Hey, first of all, shout out to everybody in the Mob Squad. Stand up. We in the building. You know what it is. It was so much fun. It's always fun when you win. But, you know, we were all in it today. And I told them that we were going to win early in the game when there was a pass over the middle of the football field to DeAndre Carter. It should have been picked off. It ends up in the hands of DeAndre Carter. And I said, when things like that happen, it's your day. You know, me and my dad used to always say that watching games. When something funky happens like that, usually it's your day. And then you get the fumble that's not a fumble with, John Bates. Like certain things have to go your way in order to win a game like this. And it did today. You know, all of those things went in our favor. And we made some of our own breaks in this game. I mean, what a win by this team. And how about Joey Sly? He's a sly guy. Do-do, do-do-do-do-do. Sly guy. Sly guy. He's a sly guy. All 4 of his field goal attempts good in this game, and he made all of his extra points. Joey Sly was fantastic. Huge part of the reason why Washington won this football game. He was spectacular in the game. And without him, we do not win this football game. So humongous, all 3 of his field goals. He only kicked 3 and all of his extra points. He was outstanding. Hopefully that trend continues for Joey Sly. Not too bad for a sly guy. All right. So in any event, let's get into the comment section. I know a lot of you have things that you want to say. I'm not going to talk about the P word. We win next week at Carolina, and then we can start using the P word. Then we can start saying, hey, maybe this is that second half Ron Rivera shit that we've seen in the past. This is what he does. This team can get hot. This was the defensive performance that we thought we were going to get from this defense all season long. We didn't think it was going to take us. And remember, the defense was starting to rev it up before the bye week. This was the third straight performance that they were really good in. It started really with Green Bay. That was a really good performance against that Packers offense. Denver, they did enough for us to win that football game. And now this week, the defense is coming along. It's coming alive. All right, we'll see if they can keep it up. But this was a hell of a performance against that offense with Tom Brady and company, to limit them to less than 20, to pick Brady off twice, to make them look. And their third down percentage, I'd love to see what they were on third downs. Our third down percentage was got to be through the roof. You know, we went probably from dead last in the league in third down conversions. Well, Denver was third down. I don't know if they were. We had to be somewhere at the bottom. I guarantee you we completed, I'm going to say we were 10 of 14 in this game. We killed them on third downs. Let's see. 10 of 16. That's 2. 4 is not enough. Then we'll get to the comment section. 11 of 19. Meanwhile, they were 4 of 10, which, you know, that's not what we generally do. But held them to less than 280 yards of total offense. We were spectacular. And on a somber note, we lose Chase Young for the season. It's more likely an ACL. If it's not an ACL, it's a ruptured Achilles tendon. Haven't heard the latest, but we know what it is. We've all watched enough football to know that he's done for the season, and he may not be able to be ready for the start of next season, because remember, Landon Collins tore his Achilles, ruptured his Achilles in October last year, and there was question as to whether he would be ready for the start of camp, and he was. Now we're into November. There's a chance Chase Young starts next season on the PUP list. So we'll see what happens there. And then we lost Ricky Seals-Jones in this game as well. Good to see Terry come back. Good to see Sheriff come back. Both of them went down. No Sam Cosmi in this game. Cornelius Lucas stepped up, gave us some quality snaps. No De'Ami Brown. So I'm looking forward to both of those guys going for us next week as we start to try to get somewhat healthy. Maybe we'll get some Logan Thomas back. We could desperately use him now with Ricky Seals-Jones tagging out. Maybe he'll tag in Logan Thomas. And obviously, Curtis Samuel watch continues. I don't know why they don't just shut him down. But anyway, let's continue. Jason Rogers gets us started tonight. Thank you for the super chat, Jason Rogers. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, big third down catch by 17 after taking a big hit just to get up and pound his chest. I don't know about you, Lou, but that shit got me hyped. The crowd as well. First of all, where the hell was the flag on that play? How many times have we seen that hit take place and a flag clearly be thrown shortly thereafter? Where was the flag? That's the second time this season. The Falcons game is another one where Terry gets molested on a play that he comes down with it, and there's no flag. Now, you know, somebody said that in the Falcons game there was a flag. I don't recall there being a flag on that prayer that Heineke threw up that Terry came down with, where he was being molested in the end zone. Where was the flag then? Where was the flag today? What if that ball had come out? That was a vicious hit. There should have been a 15-yard penalty attached to that catch. That being said, that man is a grown-ass man. That was a grown-ass man catch. And to get up and to flex, man, that boy right there, Terry, and there's people out there that says he's not a number one wide receiver. Yeah, right. Game on the line. We need it. He went and got it. That's what number ones do. That was big boy football. I was too nervous to be hyped there. I was excited. I wasn't hyped because I knew still work was left to be done. I still wanted a touchdown. I did not want a field goal. I did not want to give it back to Brady. So I was still nervous. But I was also upset. I couldn't get hyped because I was looking for the flag. Where's my 15-yard penalty? Malachi Malik, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Malachi Malik writes, you're going to get what you asked for, Lou. More Shaka Tony, but it came at a price. I wanted more Shaka. I didn't want it like this, right? I mean, I think we can all agree we wanted more Shaka Tony. And he got a pressure on Brady on a critical third down that forced the punt. But that's not how we wanted it to come about. I wanted him to get more snaps because there's no Montez Sweat over the next, month or so. And they just put Montez Sweat on IR. So I wanted to see more Shaka Tony, more Bumney Rotimi. I wanted to see these guys. I didn't expect it to come now where we're starting who knows who. I mean, literally, it's going to be Casey Toohill and James Smith-Williams for the rest of the way out, potentially, depending on how long it takes Montez Sweat to come back. I mean, what in the hell just happened to our defensive line? And in the face of that adversity, We played our best defensive game of the year. Unbelievable. Tony P56, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the drip. My guy Tony P56 writes, Lou, been trying to catch a live to say thanks for the shout out. Thank you. And finally, a complete game. I wish all the injured guys a speedy recovery. Likewise, Tony P56. My guy Tony P, thank you again for the hat, for the lid, for the drip. I really do appreciate you. Big shout outs to you for the kind and generous donation. As far as this game is concerned, the first thing I said in going into the second half to the mob is that was one half of football. We've seen this team play one half of football before. Giants game, Chargers game, Chiefs game, all right, Falcons game. The list goes on and on and on. We've seen them play Saints game, barring, sans for the Hail Mary. We've seen this team play a half of football before. It's a 2-half game, though. We forced 3 turnovers against the Chiefs in the first half. We forced 2 turnovers against the Saints in the first half and imploded in the second half. I said, it's a 2-half game. Are we going to play 2 halves or what? We did today. So you're spot on there. And like you, I wish all of the guys that were injured, especially Chase Young, his injury looks to be the most severe. Ricky Seals-Jones also did not return in this game. A speedy recovery. We're dropping like flies, man. We really are. Anyway, I digress. White Run Guard, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, revenge never felt so sweet. Yeah, they were missing AB and Gronk, but look at our injuries. There are no excuses. If any Buccaneers fan tries to come at you with, we were missing this guy and that guy, you can just you can take a list of all of our injuries and you go like this. Oh, yeah, you were missing AB and Gronk? Here's our injury list right here, okay? Get the hell out of my face. We got a damn laundry list of injuries, okay? You just whip that shit out and you start reading off names of guys that were banged up or missed action today, okay? Nobody wants to hear any excuses. That's what the league is all about, okay? We had a bunch of guys missing in this game. So no excuses. They still had Godwin. They still had Mike Evans. They still had Cameron Brate. They still had Fournette. They still had all of those guys, okay? All of those guys were out there. We still got it done. That's the bottom line, is we made plays when plays had to be made. And as you just said, revenge is a dish best served ice cold, and this win felt so cold-blooded. Heine, ultra. Ultra, 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 ultra. I said we needed Heineke Ultra, not Heineke Light. Ultra, 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 ultra. We got Heineke Ultra. I don't know what it is about the Buccaneers that brings the best out of him. Maybe we just need to play Tampa Bay every single week, just like Daniel Jones wants to play our defense every single week. He'd be undefeated and the best quarterback in the league. Maybe Heineke, if he played Tampa Bay's defense every single week, he'd be one of the best quarterbacks in the league because he plays his best ball against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for some inexplicable reason. Barry Curtis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Barry. Writes, great win. Couldn't tell if it was bad Bucs offense or great Washington defense, but I'll take it. It was a little bit of both, but really I felt like we forced the issue. Brady, to his credit, is one of the best quarterbacks in the league at taking, and this is throughout his career historically, at taking what the defense gives you. And we weren't giving up anything deep. They beat us on that third down late in the game. Kendall Fuller tried to be over aggressive. You would have thought he would have learned from the playoff game. He got beat on the exact same play in the playoff game where he tried to come up, challenge Mike Evans. Evans beats him off the press. Evans is 6'5", 240. You're 5'11", 6 feet max, 100 and maybe 95, maybe 98 pounds. Why are you trying to jam this man? Okay. It shouldn't be a 2-hand press. It should be a 1-hand. So even if he hits your hand, you still have your balance. He goes 2 hands, tries to really disrupt the timing of the route, which I wanted him to do. And Evans takes him and pitches him out of the way and then runs right by him. Like, that was not smart defense. But in any event, they really didn't have anything down the field. They had the Jalen Darden play on the cover 2 where we left him wide ass open and Brady found him down the sideline. But outside of that, everything was underneath. Leonard Fournette, I guarantee you, was their leading receiver in this game. It was a nickel and dime fest. Maybe Chris Godwin was right there with him because he caught about 17 wide receiver screens. But really, everything was underneath. We didn't give up really too many explosive plays in this football game. And then we got Brady off the spot a bit. You know, there were times where he was not comfortable. You know, and that's the thing with Brady. You got to set the tone early. The very first third down of the game, Jonathan Allen doesn't sack him, but he plants him. I mean, absolutely depletes him on the play. And don't think that Brady, that shit doesn't resonate with him. He's thinking, okay, I forgot this is that Washington defensive line. Got to speed my clock up. So now when he gets that third foot hits the ground against a lesser defensive front that he's not expecting a lot against, he'll just take a hitch, pat the ball, stand there, go through his progressions. But with this defense, now he's thinking, I got to get rid of it. Somebody's coming. So now he's checking it down. Now he's going to Fournette. First read, second read's not there. I'm going to get it to the check down. And this is the first game all season where I felt like we rallied to the football. We came aggressively, you know, maximum hats to the action. And I thought we tackled really well today. And there were multiple guys coming to the football. Cam Curl was outstanding today. Cole Holcomb, outstanding today. I thought guys were flying around the football field. I loved it. Thought it was more good defense than bad Bucs offense. Let's see. Got another one here from Vincent Cole. Thank you for the super chat and for being a member of the MOBB. My guy Vincent Cole writes, big dub. Yes, it was, Vincent. We're going to see if your team can get one against these Green Bay Packers. It's going to be tough, but it's very doable. Huge win for us because essentially what we've done is we've hit the reset button temporarily on the season, right? Because remember, I said we needed to beat the Denver Broncos to keep our season alive. But I didn't think we were going to beat the Denver Broncos and then beat the Buccaneers. I just said we need to beat the Buccaneers or beat the Broncos so that we'll be 3-6 after we lose to the Buccaneers, right? So essentially all we did was we swapped out the Broncos loss for a Bucs win, which I would much rather have. It's an NFC opponent and it's a much better team, right? So I told you there's a lot of 3-win teams. That 7th seed is not out of reach. I don't want to talk about it right now because we got to show that we can win more than one game at a time. We've won one game before this season, twice, now a third time. Can we make it 2 in a row? We do that, and then we can start talking reckless. Gideon Wayne, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, so happy for the win. Heineke played amazing. He did. He got away with a couple of mistakes, okay? A couple of one batted ball, you know, at the line of scrimmage that could have easily been picked off, but the defender fell down. The one over the middle that I talked about, that showed good fortune. Like he was living right. You know, if he was living foul, that's a pick. But it went right off the hands of Mike Edwards into the hands of DeAndre Carter. So, I mean, he was living right on a couple of throws. But that said, he was outstanding. I couldn't agree more. I thought he could have gotten out of there on a couple of sacks that he took, but he protected the football. You know, that's the most important part is he protected the football. And when plays had to be made, there were some critical third downs. He made some big time throws. I mean, that throw to DeAndre Carter for the touchdown, that's a big time NFL throw. That throw to Gibson on a blitz on a second down, that's an excellent play. I mean, it's only a 4-yard gain. And, you know, it's not going to show up big on the stat sheet. That's a massive play. It made it third and manageable, and that's the play that set up the Terry throw, right? Then you got the throw to Hump. Do the Humpty Hump. What up? Do the Hump. Oh, do me, baby. Do the Humpty Hump. Biggest play of the game. Hump comes up with a huge snatch. Because at that time, I don't know if we were in field goal range yet. If we weren't in great field goal range. Sly had the leg to make it, but you don't want to put him out there for that. You know, that would have been like a 50-some-odd yard field goal if Adam Humphries doesn't come down. That's a beautiful throw and an even better catch by Adam Humphries. So Heineke, and then he used his legs on the third down. Remember, early in that drive, the marathon 19-play, 80-yard, 10-minute and 26-second drive, the longest in the league this season, capped off not by a field goal, by a touchdown. And we're going to go over the keys to the game tomorrow, right? Washington 2 of 2 on fourth downs in this game. But Remember what I said about red zone efficiency. I said Tampa can't be 50%. They've got to be less than 50%, and we have to be 50% or more. We were 50%, 2 of 4 in the red zone. They were 1 of 3. That's where the game was won. They scored 2 touchdowns on those 2 possessions. They win the game. They had to settle for field goals. DMV fan 123. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, doom and gloom among fans was too much. Good dub. It definitely felt doom and gloomish, but they deserved that. They earned the doom and gloom that, you know, was coming. And we know the NFL is a week-to-week league. This is why, as happy as I am right now, we could be equally as frustrated next week getting our asses handed to us by the Panthers. I'm not going to think about that right now. I want to enjoy this win. Look, we don't get many of them around these parts anymore. So when we get one, I want to enjoy it. I want to savor it because I don't know when the next time. I'm like a starving, you know, kid that doesn't know when he's getting his next meal. So I want to savor this one right here because I don't know when I'm eating again. You know, we may not eat for another month. We could eat next week for all I know. I don't know, but I'm going to savor this one. But the doom and gloom was deserved. I'm not going to sit here and again, I'm not going to point the finger at anybody because when they played the way that they played and we got the product on the field that we were getting, you deserve to feel like, okay, what's going to happen in the draft next year? I totally get that because my mind was starting to go in that direction. I'm still going to watch these quarterbacks, not changing that, you know, but because we still need one. But this was a big win. We needed it bad. Barrett Downing, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy BD writes, great win, Lou. So keep doing your thing. You know I am. Win or lose or draw, I'm going to be here. It's just so much better to be dressed in something other than all black, like the Omen, and taking one on the chin, man. It feels good to be delivering the blows instead of taking them. Feels good to not be in all black. Feels good, feels good. Thank you for the super chat, BD. Rob you, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, first complete game of the year. Indeed. First complete game of the year, start to finish. We started fast. I think this is the fastest start we've had because we didn't give up an opening possession touchdown. As a matter of fact, we got a 3 and out. What in the world is going on? I was like, who are these masked men right now? I'm watching. I don't know these guys. I haven't seen them since last season. Who are these men? We forced a 3 and out and then got a turnover. Who are these guys? And then forced another turnover. And almost forced another one if Kendall Fuller could have kept his arms together and stopped the ball from hitting the ground. Like, we were outstanding defensively early. And the offense, despite, I felt like we were leaving points on the field. You know what I mean? Like, you feel like you're dominating, and you look up, and we had the dumb penalty right before the half with William Jackson III. And it's 16-6 at halftime. And you're like, oh my God, we should be winning by more than this. They're going to come back and beat us. But it didn't happen. Credit this defense. But more importantly, credit the offense because really it's their responses that stop. Because it's not like the Buccaneers weren't good in the second half. Brady had a 140 passer rating in the second half. He threw 2 touchdown passes in the second half. It wasn't because the Buccaneers offense wasn't getting it done. Even though the defense did get stops. I want to give them credit. They did get stops. And the offense turned it over, and that's when Brady scored their second touchdown. Not because the defense could have came out and gotten a stop. It's not like they got the football at the 4-yard line. They got it at the 40-some-odd yard line, and the defense gave it up. But still, it was because the offense put together drives and responded every time the Buccaneers scored. That's why we won this game. Defense was huge, though. Don't want to minimize what they did in this game. First complete game of the year. Absolutely, Rob you. John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy JP writes, great win, but Chase is gone for the year. Hope everyone who didn't want him is happy so I can smack those clowns upside the head. This isn't the time to point the finger at who did or didn't want Chase, yada, yada, yada. I mean, it sucks. He's injured. No one wanted to see that. You know, one of the biggest things we were talking about wanting to see down the stretch was Chase get hot, right? Like that was one of the things that we all talked about that we wanted to see with Chase Young was we wanted to see him start to rev it up, start to impact the game from a pass rush standpoint because he's already been impacting it in the run game. We wanted to see him impact the game from a pass rush standpoint. And It sucks, period. Whether you wanted him or you didn't want him, nobody wants to see that. So that sucks. Really does. DJ Walker, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. DJ writes, Brandon Scherff, a whole dub out here. Get him out of here. Okay. Boy can't stay healthy. He says, great win, though. Hitters hooped. Yes. And I'm going to tell you right now, when he got hurt again, everybody in the mob was like, yo, are we serious right now? Are you kidding me? Because you got to remember, at that time, what we were facing. Chase had already gone down. Terry had gone down. And RSJ had went down. And you're like, seriously, Terry had come back. But Chase, we knew he was done, not only for this game, but for the season and into next year potentially. And we knew that RSJ wasn't coming back. So it's all up to the young fellas. And Bates stepped up, had a big catch over the middle of the football field on third down, bouncing back from almost fumbling. And we know that meant if they went to any two tight end sets, it was going to be Sammy's Reyes out there. So, seeing Scherff go down, I was like, Lord, you just got back, dude. Seriously, what is going on? And it was so refreshing to see him back that next possession we had the football. Like, okay, Scherff is back out there. He's starting to become like a new Morgan Moses where he gets injured. You're like, he'll be back. Morgan used to get injured and he'd be back like 2 plays later. He'd be like, Morgan, you're so extra. Just get off the field, man. But I'm just glad he came back. I'm just glad he came back. It was a big win. Big win. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat and for being a member of the MOBB, my guy. Big Money Sonny writes, Lou, mob was lit. Yes, it was. This was very enjoyable. Again, when you win, everything is more enjoyable. The food tastes better. The drinks taste sweeter. The air is crisper. Everything's better when you win. But the mob, especially, had we lost this game, it would have been deflating and crushing. But the mob was great regardless. I enjoyed that thoroughly. He says, I had hope after seeing Miami win on Thursday. Can you recap the injury situation? HTTWFT, let's get it. So, again, we didn't really, when it's all said and done, dust settles, smoke clears, and we'll see what happens because Terry took a hellacious hit, and we could find out tomorrow that he's got a concussion, or Wednesday that, he didn't practice because he's got a concussion, but Terry left the game. I think it was like spine related. They said it was his collarbone, but remember, he got tackled really weirdly on that bubble screen we tried to throw him. And, he left and they checked his spine. Everything looked fine. He came back in the game. So let's keep our fingers crossed that he's okay. We can't afford to lose him. Then Scherff left the game. They never gave us an injury report because he was back so quickly. Chase is gone for the season. It's either an ACL or an Achilles. I think it's an ACL personally, but we'll see. Anytime you see a non-contact injury like that, you already know right away what it is. And Chase was on the ground writhing in pain, so you knew what it was. And he refused the cart. He wanted to walk off. I mean, he's a dude. So he's done for the season. And RSJ, we didn't get confirmation on what his injury was, but it's one of two things if you ask me. It's either his groin or it's his hamstring. It looked like he was reaching for his hammy. When he first got tackled, he was reaching behind him. So it looked eerily similar to when Logan Thomas walked off the field against Atlanta, and he ended up having a hamstring. So I'm going to say that RSJ has a hamstring injury. And that was really the extent of the injuries today for the team. Now, again, anything could crop up, but that's essentially what happened during the game. No Sam Cosmi, so they kept him out an additional week. No De'Ami Brown, they kept him out an additional week. But it was good to see Cam Sims out there. He made a couple of good catches. So, and he drew a huge pass interference flag that led to the first of 2 Gibby touchdown runs. So, outstanding by this football team today. Casper Hill, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Casper writes, great win. He said, let's go. Great win. Love the show, bro. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. And it was a huge win. And I said at the very end with the mob, this felt like the Steelers game all over again from last year. I thought we needed a running start, but maybe we just needed a refresh. Maybe we just needed to hit the reset button. And this could be the win that really kind of starts this, upward trend for us in this incline in our play. Let's see. We're hoping that, we're hoping that this, because we've gotten past the toughest part of the schedule. All the games on the schedule remaining are winnable games. Not a single one do I look at and say, well, we got no chance. That's how I felt today. We got no chance. And we did, and we won, which is crazy because I didn't see it coming. But the rest of the games on the schedule, I don't look at one of those games and say we don't have a chance. Now, will we win them? That's another discussion for another day, but we got a chance in every single one of those games. I feel really good about each and every single one of them. So we'll see what happens. But, to your point, Big Money Sonny, to go back to that last super chat, I talked about my guy, B Militant, saying, look, if the Dolphins can do that, why can't we do that on Sunday? If Ron can't get these boys to play competitively and have a spirited effort, then he's losing his team. I didn't completely agree with that. And I told him, look, Brady and the Buccaneers aren't the Ravens and the Dolphins and Lamar Jackson. Like, it's two different teams. They're going to come out and they're going to kick our ass. I was wrong. And he was right in saying, he said, look, I wasn't saying we were going to win. I just need to see us come out and fight. And that's what they did today. Not only did they fight, but that fight that we saw gave them a chance to win at the end. And then they made every single big play. And, it's crazy because throughout the course of the game, we saw the stupid things that they did. And I always like to say bad teams do bad team shit. And we did some bad team shit. But we also made up for the bad team shit. And that's what the good teams do. You're going to make mistakes. Even the good teams make mistakes. You're not going to be clean in every single game. Okay? You got to pick up your teammate when he makes a mistake. William Jackson III makes a foolish mistake at the end of the first half. Okay, pick him up. Dax Milne, critical, crucial fumble. We're up 10. We're driving to really put the Buccaneers out of their misery. And he fumbles the ball. A rookie mistake, it happens. It's a great play by the Buccaneers. I told you, dogs hunt. That's what they do. Levante David came and he punched that bitch out. I mean, that's what dogs do. They hunt. So he made a play. That's what players like Levante David do. They make plays. And Dax Milne, he'll learn from that. I got to protect the ball better. Guys are looking to peanut punch it out. So pick him up. We gave up the touchdown. Offense, pick him up. They did. They're going a marathon, 19-play, 80-yard, 10-minute, 26-second drive capped off by a game-sealing touchdown. That's how you do it. In past weeks, we go 3 and out. We give it right back to Brady, and he puts a dagger in our heart. Or we get one first down, then we don't convert, or we have a stupid penalty. Now we're behind the sticks, and we don't make the play to make to keep the drive alive and to keep the ball out of Brady's hands. Heineke doesn't get out of the pocket, and he gets sacked instead of running for 5 yards on 3rd and 3. These are the things that would have happened in past weeks, but it didn't happen in this game. And that's a testament to this team continuing to believe, continuing to fight, and continuing to stay on course of Ron's plan. You guys, some of you don't want to hear that. It's all a part of Ron's plan. He said this team lacked maturity. They showed it in this game. Rob U, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Rob U. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, wishing Chase a speedy recovery. You see them possibly playing Allen or Ioannidis at end in an attempt to get the best D lineman on the field. We saw a little bit of that today. I saw Daron Payne outside at D end on a couple of rushes. So they're going to mix it up. That might have been out of necessity because, some of those guys weren't getting meaningful reps. We'll see. They're going to have to do some things on the defensive line for sure to shuffle it around. They're not going to just throw out, James Smith-Williams and Casey Toohill and Bumney Rotimi and, Shaka Tony and just say, all right, guys, go get it. They're not just going to roll the ball out and say, all right, let's play. They're going to find ways to put some of these guys on the field. And yeah, I mean, look, these young guys got to come of age. Ron wanted to go young at defensive end in terms of depth. Well, your depth is being tested. These young boys got to play. They got to earn their keep. If they can't do it, they don't need to be here. So I'm not looking to run away from the young fellas. Put their ass in the game and see if they can make some plays or not. We need to know if they're a part of this rebuild, if they're a part of the plan moving forward, or we need to drop their ass off at the bus stop at the end of the season. Like, we can't keep carrying around dead weight. So now we need to see some of these young boys, show and prove. Can you play or not? If not, you got to go. So we're going to see. Eddie Behringer, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. My guy, Eddie B, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, no sweat, no chase. What your O-line coach say, Lou? Son, be ready. He said, football gods showed up today. That they did. Aside from the missed Terry roughing the unnecessary roughness penalty or personal foul, helmet-to-helmet contact penalty that they missed, I thought it was a well-officiated game. Football gods really didn't necessarily have to step in. There was no egregious play one way or the other that they needed to right. But I do love the fact that Ron rolled the dice on fourth down twice, and the team made it pay it and came up nice both times. Early in the game when you felt like, look, if we kick another field goal here, and after 2 Brady interceptions and a forced 3 and out, all we have is, 9 points to show for it. You felt like we were going to lose the game. And he said, nah, this ain't enough, and so you get the fourth down conversion there. You end up scoring a touchdown a couple plays later to DeAndre Carter, and it's 13-0, and you feel like, okay, now, all those turnovers, it felt like we got something out of it now, right? Got a 2-score lead, putting the pressure on the Buccaneers to respond. Felt good. And then late in the game, you could kick the field goal there. You kick the extra point, a field goal, and go up a touchdown and put yourself in a position where you don't lose in regulation. But that wasn't good enough. We played too well to say, hey, let Brady take this, because you know what was going to happen. He was going to go down the field, and maybe their kicker misses another extra point. Probably doesn't. He's going to take them down the field. They're going to score the touchdown. We're going to go to overtime, and they're going to beat us. You know how that movie was going to end. And Ron did too, which is why, just like last year against the Giants, he was like, to hell with this. Going for 2, tried to go for the win. We didn't get it. This year, he goes for it on fourth down. We get the first down, and we ultimately get the touchdown. It was a big, ballsy move and call by Ron, but his players made him right, and that's what it's all about. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Metaphor writes, condolences to Rarely Even, but let's go. He's not, we may not see him today. Tonight on the show, on overtime, after the Sunday night game, we may not see him tonight. It's going to take him a day or two to probably decompress. If we do see him tonight, he is going to be on edge. Either way, he says, let's go. Heine Ice comes through. Won my parlay with under 45.5 and spread. Imagine no New Orleans or Denver wins. Injuries, though. Again, we could play the what if game. I mean, there are several games we could have won there, and we could have lost both of the games we had won previous to this one. We could have lost to the Giants. Probably should have lost to the Giants because we got to do over it, and Hopkins missed the first one. And could have lost to the Falcons, but we won that game. So we could play the what if game. We're probably right where we should be at 3-6. Your record is what you are as a team, essentially. And we got to play better. This again, I told you guys starting at the Green Bay, I said, look, I can't tell you to feel good about a loss, but I said this is as good as I've felt all season coming off of a loss, that Green Bay game, because I said the offense literally stalled out in the red zone 18 times, and I'm like, look, we moved the football at will. The defense played well enough for us to win. That's it is what it is. The better team won, but we had opportunities. And then the next week against Denver, we were in that game. We just didn't make enough plays. Simply put, the game was there for the taking, and we didn't make enough plays. That's the one that got away, if you ask me. That's the one that we should have won. You win that game, and you win this one, and now you're 4-5, and you're knocking on the door of 500. But that's nor here nor there. The bottom line is we are what we are, and we got to continue to try to dig ourselves up out of this hole that we've created for ourselves. And now we're no longer in last place in the division. It's one brick at a time, piece by piece, brick by brick. So we put one brick in the left-hand column. Let's see if we can't go get another brick and put it on top of the one that we just put over there. Okay. And then next thing you know, you look up, wait, we won 4 in a row. We're 7-6. Look at that. We've won 5 in a row. So let's see what we can do one at a time. Congratulations on winning your parlay too. It's always good when you can knock that out as well. Redneck Rocker 01, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, Chase going down really hurts. Great win by the fellas. Let's go. That at that point, I was like, all right, I want this one bad now. Chase is going down. We know he's not coming back for the remainder of the season. That's a bitter pill to swallow. It almost puts a bit of a damper on the win because he's not coming back. But at this point, at that point of the game, you still didn't think I didn't think we were going to win yet. I wasn't totally convinced, and I wasn't emotionally invested up until Chase got injured. Once Chase got injured, I became emotionally invested. I want this one now. I'm pissed off. He's not coming back. His injury can't go in vain. Okay. We got to win this game now. And we did. It feels good. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Rob Yu writes, I stay on Heineke, but he was an asset today. Look, all the criticism that he's received has been warranted. He has not been great in a number of games this season that we could have won had we gotten better quarterback play. That said, he's the best option, I believe, that we have on this team. I think he's better than Kyle Allen. I like Kyle Allen, but I think he's better than him. And I know that's not saying much, but at the end of the day, as I told you guys when he first got the nod, he's the right man for the job right now. And I'm not moving off of the spot. I felt that way when he got the job. I felt that way through the ups and downs. Remember, he's still young in NFL starts. Like, this is a guy that's still kind of feeling his way around. Yeah, he's 27 years old and he looks like he's about 45. But in NFL years, in NFL experience, the guy literally doesn't even have a whole season under his belt. So he's still relatively young and a newbie at this. He's a novice. And he's continuing to get better with more and more opportunities. And so we'll see what happens. I need consistency from him. We've seen this from him before. We saw it in the Giants game. We saw it in the Falcons game. We need consistency from him. The problem is he'll do this week, and next week against the Panthers, he'll look like he did against New Orleans or Kansas City, and we'll lose to the Panthers on the road next week. That's the problem, is we need consistency, not just from the defense. They were outstanding, but they've been trending in this direction since the Green Bay game. We need consistency from the quarterback position. If he can stabilize it, we'll have a shot almost every week, especially if the defense keeps playing this way. Super chat from John Cedillo. Thank you for the super chat, John. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, congrats on the win, Lou. And with Dallas crushing Atlanta, the first seed is a more realistic possibility after last week's debacle. Dallas destroyed them. At one point, I was asking, why is Dak even still in the game? Just get him out of there. The worst thing that can happen is you're up 36-3 and he gets injured and everyone's asking, why the hell was he even in there? You guys destroyed them. I saw that one coming a mile away. Like, okay, they're pissed off about what happened against Denver. In Atlanta, they've been hit or miss this season. This was a big whiff by them. But I'll definitely take the win. And, we'll see what happens with Dallas. They're back on track just like that. Just like the Buffalo Bills, back on track. After a crazy loss last week, they destroyed the Jets this week. Charles Jackson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, questionable officiating again. I said this in the MOBB. I thought this was the best officiated game we've been a part of all season long. The officials essentially stayed out of the game and let the players on the field decide the outcome of this game. When they had to throw their flag, they did, but they pretty much kept it in their pocket. Landon Collins got away with a face mask on the sidelines that didn't get called. Like, I'm not saying you're supposed to let that shit go, but it goes both ways. They missed one for us. They missed one for them. You don't want to see them miss that call against Terry. Like, you can't miss that one. That's a big play because if Terry doesn't catch that, we need that first down. Okay, but they picked up the flag. I thought that was, one of those calls that you see every single week. We never seem to get the benefit of it. When they picked it up when I want to say it was J.D. McKissick got hit in the head, and they picked up the flag and said, play on. I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, I see it every week get called, though. And if it were us, it would have been a penalty, but that's nor here nor there. I thought the officiating was pretty solid throughout. Now, I really liked the crew that we had today And I wouldn't mind playing with this crew again because, again, they let the players on the field pretty much determine the outcome of the game. Rob U, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rob U writes, can Humphreys please get more time? I've been saying this all year, man. I mean, this goes all the way back to like week number maybe 4. I said, can Hump touch it more? The guy's open every week. You've heard me say this a million times. He's open every week. And he's only got a catch today, but it was one of the biggest catches of the day. We only had 1 catch. How many targets did he have? 1 target, maybe 2 max? Like, he needs more opportunities, man. There was a 3rd down when we were backed up in our own end zone. Heineke takes a sack right around like the 1. And on 3rd down, he just said, to hell with it. Yeah, I'm going to chuck this bitch deep. If it gets picked off, it'll be just like a punt. Who cares? And Heineke throws it deep over everybody's head. Doesn't give his guy a chance. Tries to throw it to Terry. Doesn't give Terry a chance. It's almost picked off. It gets dropped. And I'm saying, Hump is open up the seam. Just zing it in there. Give him a chance. He needs more opportunities. I couldn't agree with you more. Super chat here from Metaphor. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Metaphor. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, not just 2 halves. We actually responded to scores. Great point, Metaphor. And I think I mentioned this earlier on the show today, but it was the responses to the Buccaneers every time they cut it to a 1-score game. Every time they came clawing back, we made plays and then responded to their score. So in the second half, score 16-6, right? And the Buccaneers get the touchdown after, I want to say, we had a 3 and out or something. It was our first point. Matter of fact, the half started, we go 3 and out, and they move it right down the field, I think. And Brady gets it to Cameron Brate. It's 16-13, just like that. And I'm thinking, here we go. I said, this feels like the Chiefs game all over again. Now, here's the difference. I said, look, if we don't respond, I said the exact same thing in the mob against the Chiefs. If we don't respond here, we're going to lose this game because the Buccaneers now have all the momentum. Uncle Mo just got up off our sidelines, and he's walking across the field. We don't want him to sit down and get comfortable. If we allow him to sit down, he will not get back up. I guarantee you. That's what happened to us against the Chiefs. Uncle Mo got up off our sidelines after the Chiefs scored their first touchdown in the second half. We were up 16-10. They take the lead 17-16. And I said, we need to respond now. Not now, like right now. And Uncle Mo got up and he waved to us. And I was like, Uncle Mo, come back. He was like, no. And he went over to the Chiefs sidelines, and Andy Reid and company had a nice plush recliner waiting on him. Say, Uncle Mo, sit up. Put your feet up, man. Whatever you need. Get it to him. Stat. They got him all the refreshments he needed. He never got up. This game, we never allowed that to happen. Okay? They scored the touchdown and cut it to 16-13. And I said, we need a response now. Right now. And if we don't, we're going to lose this game. And what did we do? We responded. We went right down the field and we scored a damn touchdown. And we pushed that lead back out to 10. I was just looking for a field goal. I said, we need something. It was a damn touchdown. I couldn't have been more proud of the fellas. I said, you know what? We're winning this damn game. At that point, that's when I really got confident. Because we haven't been doing that this season. Our responses have been little to none this season in terms of responding to a team's score and adversity. When it hits, when game pressure hits, we folded. Every time this season, we didn't fold in this game. And even then, after the Buccaneers cut it back to 4 after the Dax Milne fumble, we got them right where we want them. They're starting to think, man, we about to lose this game. They're down 10. It's under 10 minutes to go in the game. Excuse me, not under 10 minutes to go in the game. It's like 12, 13 minutes, and we look like we're driving. Dax Milne is going to pick up the first down on 3rd down, and we're about to be close to midfield. We look like we're trying to go get more points. And he coughs it up. Coughs it up. And they go get the touchdown. Missed the extra point. I said, look, we need a response. Brady can smell a dub now. They think they got us. That was the opening they were looking for. Now they think that in the later rounds of this fight, they're going to come back and they're going to steal it on the scorecards. And what we did was one of the most beautiful things these eyes have seen this season. We couldn't have done it any better than what we did it. Because not only did Brady not get to touch it in a meaningful sense, but he didn't have a chance. I just knew that we were going to score a field goal. Once we got down, I said, okay, we're going to end up settling for a field goal. He's going to get it back with about 1:03 left. No timeouts. And he's going to take that bitch and put it in the end zone, tie this game up, and they're going to beat us in OT. 26-26. 29-26. And what did we do? We made every single big play. We converted every single third down and hell, even a fourth down. And when Ron decided on that fourth down, let's do it. I said, because I asked the mob before when he took the time, I said, Mob, what do we do here? My mind was set. Either you score the touchdown or you go for it and you make Brady have to go 99 yards with, 27 seconds or whatever, because it was 31 seconds left after, Ron called the timeout. If we don't get it, it's 25 seconds, and Brady's got to go 99 yards with no timeouts. I'll take my chances. If we give up a touchdown in that situation, we deserve to lose the game. Simple as that. And we got in on Gibby's run. Gibby was outstanding too. It was only 24 carries for 62 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns, and he ran hard. That Buccaneers defense is hard to run against. He ran his ass off, and he had some big catches in the passing game. I thought this was one of Gibby's best performances of the season. I thought he was phenomenal today. That's what I want to see from him. He was a tough guy. Martin Matthews, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Martin Matthews writes, hey, Lou, riddle me this. What is a nail-biting and beautiful at the same time? That 19-play offensive drive at the end. Hell yeah. You want to talk about nail-biting? Every third down, we had to be about, 5 of 6 on that drive on third downs, because obviously we didn't get that last third down, which prompted us to go for it on fourth down and get it. We had to be, 5 of 6 on that drive. That wasn't a clean, first down on second down drive. That was, first down, get a little something. Second down, get a little bit more. 3rd and 3, convert. First down, get a little something. Second down, get a little bit more. 3rd and 5, get 6 with the sticks. And we just kept repeating, rinse, repeat, right? Until we finally got down there. And so it was definitely a nail-biting drive, but like you said, it was one of the most beautiful things these eyes have seen all season long. To do what we did when the game was in the balance. And I told you I was not afraid of this Buccaneers defense. I'm not afraid of them. They've got a ton of injuries. They're not the same defense. And if you can just protect up front, and Heineke did get sacked 4 times today, but he didn't turn it over. If you could just protect up front, you can take advantage of their secondary. You can throw the football against them. And we even ran it a little bit today, which was surprising because I didn't think we would be able to do that. Dewan Porch, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes. He says, hashtag for ultra. Gibby looked good today. And WJ3 still doing dumb-ish, though. Our bench D is hungry. Overall, hail to the Washington football team. My son and I will be at the 20-yard, he said, will be 20-yard line at Seattle. That's a big one on Monday night. Obviously, still got a lot of football left to be played before we get there. But if I'm not mistaken, it's Carolina, and then it's Monday night home for Seattle. So you win that game, you're riding a 2-game heater at that point, with a chance to make it 3 in a row and really make things interesting in the wild card chase. That game could have significant meaning, but we got to get there first. But I hope you guys enjoy it. And as I always tell anybody that's going to be at the game, you know what to do. Bring home the dub. William Jackson III, I'm not going to kill him for that. I go low there. There's no need for you to be up here hand fighting with him up high. He's stiff arming you. You're trying to get a piece of anything you can. I get it. It happens. That's not the situation for that. The game is literally going to halftime. All you got to do is go low, push him out of bounds. If you miss the tackle going low, guess what? He's running towards sidelines, towards out of bounds, and there are 3 defenders right behind you. Now, he probably didn't know that there were 3 guys backing him up. Doesn't matter. He's running towards out of bounds. If you miss that tackle, he's not scoring a touchdown. He's either going out of bounds or someone else is going to clean him up. You don't need to go high there. But anyway, I digress. B-Ball God. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. B-Ball God writes, Cam currently whooping the Cards' ass at the moment, LOL, but good dub today. Do you think our season over? Still over with Chase out. Now what? Great feeling, Lou. Do I think the season is over? No, because the way I felt after the Broncos game was assuming we were going to lose this game as well and be 2-7. Remember, and I said this at the top of the show, the assumption was we were going to beat Denver to get us to 3-5, knowing that we had a loss coming on the other side of the bye to make us 3-6. And then you could start trying to play some football. Well, we just swapped out those games. And I'd much rather have this win over Tampa than the win over Denver because it's a conference game. And again, it's a better opponent. So it gives you more confidence. It came at a price, right? A steep price losing Chase Young. But, you get the win and now who knows what happens from here. Again, the 7th seed in the NFC, and I said this 3 weeks ago. I mean it even now. Watching all the other Atlanta lost today, right? And the Eagles are still in it. The Giants are still in it. Like all of those teams, Carolina is in it. The Vikings are in it. Like none of these teams are any good. So why not us? That's all I'm trying to say. But again, we've got to put ourselves in that position. We still are, to me, another win or 2 away from really having that discussion. Because there are teams with 4 wins. They'll be, if Panthers win today, they'll be with 5 wins because there's no Kyler Murray more likely than not today. But again, we play Carolina. We control our own destiny in that sense, right? We beat Atlanta. That's a team that we'll be fighting with over that wild card. We beat them already, right? If we play Carolina and we beat them, that's another team that we'll be fighting over that, 6th or 7th spot in the wild card for. These are very instrumental games, Very instrumental games. That's why losing to New Orleans hurt because that's another team that's going to be fighting for a wild card more likely than not when it's all said and done. They're going to be fighting for a wild card. And you would have loved to have had that one under your belt as well. But again, we don't need to have that conversation. Not after just 1 win. We've won 1 game before this season. Can we win 2? We haven't done that this year in a row. No, I don't think the season is over, to answer your question. Trevor Patch, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. I know you were at the game. You chimed in from the stadium real quick with the mob saying, hey, I'm at the game. And you told us that Chase, his scream was like a blood curdling scream. You're like, I can hear it all the way clearly at the other end of the field. So you knew it was bad. He says, deep in crib, surrounded. He said, deep in crib, surrounded by Brady jerseys behind our bench. Gibby backed up all my trash talk. Feels good. Feels good. Chase was walking around the sideline. Why not us? I like TH versus the NFC South and East. Well, he's already dropped 1 against the South, but he has a chance to be 3-1 against the South, against his former team in the Carolina Panthers next week. Meanwhile, the East, I like him against the East too. I'll take my chances against Dallas. I'll take my chances against the Giants and the Eagles. I think we can beat every single one of them. So 1 game at a time, though. 1 game at a time. And we'll see what happens. But it feels good, man. It feels good to just get 1. And that can instill some confidence in these guys on this football team, And it's good to see the young fellas, even though Dax Milne fumbled, it's good to see him getting involved, right? Good to see John Bates getting involved. Like these young boys, we need them. They're a part of the future. It's good to see them getting involved. Michael White, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, I'm resending my, he says, my double O. Okay. 10 wins again, baby. He said, just joking. But I am really proud of the guys today. Great job. I'm glad you did not start that whole, 10 wins conversation again. It was crazy when you said it the first time. It's even crazier now. But it does feel great to get this win. I couldn't agree with you more. Outstanding win. And again, this win could have far-reaching consequences because this could be the beginning of something beautiful this season, or it could be nothing. It could just be one win, like what we saw from the Jets, one win. That's it. When they beat Cincinnati, or, Jacksonville, one win. They just beat Buffalo. That was it. I don't know if they beat Indy, but they were fighting in that game. Last time I checked, it was 23-17. But it could just be one win. It could be a one-off. Or it could be what the Dolphins did. They've won 2 in a row now, right? They won one game against lowly Houston, and it gave them all this juice and all this energy and belief and confidence. And then they went and smoked the Ravens on a Thursday night. Now they're thinking, why not us? Now, the AFC is a much tougher conference. That's why not you. But shit, why not us in the NFC? So we'll see. J-Mart, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, great weekend for me. Washington football team Wiz and Notre Dame get dubs. Oh, yeah, you feeling really good about yourself right now. Wizards are playing outstanding. Notre Dame, I'm a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, but I mean, they're supposed to beat, Army. Like that, you don't get really excited about that, but they took care of business. Or UVA, they beat UVA this week. I think I'm thinking about last week. They beat UVA like 28-3. And then, Washington, I didn't think they were going to win personally, but it does feel good, man. It feels great to get one. Finally, you just get sick of losing. You know what I'm saying? And, we may have this distinction. I think the Giants still have the Buccaneers on their schedule, haven't played them yet. But we may be the only team in the division to beat Tampa Bay. Eagles lost, Dallas couldn't do it. And maybe we're the only ones that can, take care of business. So we'll see what happens. Chilled Dude, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, first complete game of the year. Feels good, feels good. I want to enjoy the dub, but the Panthers are very beatable. Man, a lot of injuries. This game cursed field. Yeah. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, enjoy this win. Don't start looking ahead to the next week's game. Enjoy this one, right? There's going to be a ton of storylines next week, and we'll be able to suck all of them up, and we'll be able to enjoy all of that next week. Ron going back to Carolina for the first time since he was fired, and Ron going against his old quarterback. We could have signed him multiple times. We decided not to. There's going to be a sector of the fan base that's going to want to see Cam tear us up so they can say, I told you so. See, there's going to be a lot of storylines. Taylor Heineke playing against his former team where it all started for him. At the end of the day, enjoy this one, right? Enjoy this one right now and into tomorrow. And then Tuesday, we start to shift our focus. By Wednesday, it's all about Carolina, right? But enjoy this right now. Again, first of all, we just beat one of the best teams in the NFC. We just did that, okay? And we didn't just do it by luck or fluke. We didn't beat them on a last-second field goal. We beat them by 10. They didn't even score 20 points. Yeah, we did that. I was actually upset that Ron didn't catch the extra point because I wanted a 30-piece on them. But I get it. Anything goes wrong with the operation, it gets blocked, they scoop it up, they score. Now they got a chance to score a touchdown and tie the game with a 2-point conversion. I knew what he was doing. I knew why he took the knee. But I'm like, don't bitch up, Ron. Kick the extra point. Or go for it. You're going to go for two. And just say, hey, hold on to the rock. But they didn't want to chance it. I don't blame them. Because there's no 10-point play in the NFL. There is an 8-point, situation where you can score a touchdown, get a 2-point conversion. And the only way they were going to do that is if we had an extra point block and they score running back for 2, or a 2-point conversion that's run, you get it knocked out of your hands, they scoop it up, run the other way for 2 points. Now Brady's got a chance. that shit wasn't happening, but I get it. But I wanted a 30-piece on their skull. The bottom line is, enjoy this. We won a game by double digits. When's the last time we've done that? It was funny. I was having a conversation with somebody on socials that hit me up, and we were going back and forth for a little bit. And he was like, we never get to win anything comfortably. Everything's a struggle. Everything's down to the last second. When's the last time we've sat down with 4 minutes left in the game and we already got it well in hand and we don't have to worry? Like the Cowboys did today, up 43-3. When's the last time? It doesn't have to be that way. When's the last time we had a game like that? And I told him, I said, we haven't had a game like that since the Dallas game on Thanksgiving last year. You know how long ago? That was last November. It was on Thanksgiving. We haven't had a comfortable win since that game. You think about all the wins we've had since then. The Pittsburgh game, down to the last second. Okay. The 49ers game, we needed a 4th down stop after they converted and had a penalty, a holding penalty on Montez Sweat that pushed them back, and we were able to get a stop. We were only up 8. You think about the Eagles game. Even though they had Nate Sudfeld in the game, you still were holding your damn breath because we were only up 7. You think about all the wins we had this season. There were only 2. The Giants game, the field goal at the end, and having to get a mulligan because we missed the first one. The Falcons game with the J.D. McKissick ridiculous catch and run. 4-point victory. When's the last time we sat down at the end of a game that we actually won and got to say, man, we won? Like, even this game, there's still, drama at the end. But once we scored the touchdown, it took those, because Vita Vea, and, you want to see him get back on the field as soon as possible. He got carted off. That's never good. But because he got injured and then we had to, take the knee on the 2-point conversion, then we had to kick it off. It felt like it took those last 30 ticks, 5 minutes to run off. And you know what? It felt damn good to know we had won already. Even though we didn't get to get into victory formation, it felt good. It feels good. Yeah, it feels good. Still haven't had one of those games where with 4 minutes left, hey, we got this one in the bag. Haven't had one of those since the Thanksgiving game against Dallas. And remember, that was a 20-16 game with about 7 minutes left before we exploded on those bastards for 3 straight touchdowns to really blow the shit out of the water. Still, anyway, I don't give a shit how we get it. You know that. I just want it. But this felt good. Felt really good. And you should enjoy it, chill dude. I said all of that to say this. Enjoy the dub. We'll talk about the Panthers next week. Enjoy this, man. We waited over a month to get a win, and it came against one of the best teams. Nobody gave us a chance. I was watching and I never watch pregame stuff. I was watching a few pregame situations right before the game started, and they were talking. Jimmy Johnson, Tom Brady's going to have 4 touchdown passes against Washington's worst rated pass defense in the league. He had every right to say that and feel that way. And all I could look at and say, you know what, Jimmy? F you, but you're probably right. And I'm watching, they do this little spiel before the game. Everybody's doing their fantasy football thing. And so, hey, what are you taking? And Phil Simms, I'm taking the Buccaneers offense to score the most points in week number 10. I said, F you, Phil Simms, but you have every right to feel that way. And to stick that shit in all of their pipes and say, smoke that shit. They only scored 19 goddamn points. That shit felt great. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Big Money Sonny, who writes, why not kick the PAT on the final drive? Salutes. I just explained that. Just explain that, Big Money Sonny, why they didn't do it. John McDowell, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Big John McDowell writes, we're going to look like the 72 Dolphins no-name defense. I hope the shade throwers, naysayers, and members of the Tank Corps will stop their negativity and get behind our Washington football team. Look, there are certain people that you don't need to waste your breath with. They don't want to see this team win until they get a quarterback, or they don't want to see this team win because Daniel Snyder is the owner. There's nothing you can do about that. They don't believe in Ron. They don't believe in Jack. They don't believe in Scott. I haven't read one comment criticizing Scott Turner today. Why? Because he called a fantastic game and we won. You know, had we lost, they would have been blaming Scott Turner for this loss. Oh my God, Scott Turner's the worst. Jack Del Rio had some well-timed. He blitzed a ton today, first and foremost. Okay. Got Brady off the spot. Some critical situations. I thought they did a really good job, and they gave up some stuff. There was a 2nd and 18 in there, and they let Godwin get 15 on 2nd and 18, and then they got the first down after that. But still, I thought the defense did a good job. I thought Jack did a good job of mixing up blitzes with coverage. There were several times when we rushed 3 and dropped 8. You got to do that against Tom Brady, right? Like, don't just keep doing the same. Like, you can't do what the Dolphins did to the Ravens and just keep blitzing them. It's Tom Brady. He's going to carve that shit up. So you got to mix it up. Give him different looks. We did that today. Certain people, they're not going to be satisfied because to them, this is just delaying the inevitable. And they're probably right? Like, winning more games doesn't fit their narrative because they want a quarterback. I've already said, I don't give a shit if we win 9 games this season, right? If you want a quarterback, go and get him. Go get him. You don't have to lose 13 games to get a quarterback in this league. You want a quarterback? Trade up to go get him. We can go get a quarterback if we want him. So we'll see what happens. I just love it. I just know that much. And you shouldn't worry about them. That's all I'm going to say to you, John. You should just worry about continuing to, be positive with your fandom. That's all you can control. You can't control anybody else. Edward Washington, thank you for the super chat, and thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, thanks for the great content. No, thank you for supporting this content. He says, Ron gave us a reason to keep the faith on his plan this week. Look, I've told you guys, I'm sticking steadfast to Ron's plan. It's not always going to be pretty, man. And a lot of you that were right there with me in the offseason, you have bailed. And I told you, I'm not stopping the vehicle. So if you want to get out, you got to hop out of the car. It's moving at about 65 miles an hour. So you're going to end up with a lot of rug burns, and you may have to go to the hospital because it's not going to be pretty. I'm not slowing the car down. But if you want to get out, get out. I'm not going to stop you. We don't have the child safety locks on. You can get out. Take your safety belt off, hop out of the whip, do a couple of military rolls, right? And get up, dust yourself off. Probably going to be bleeding a little bit. You'll live. Keep it moving. You got to walk. You got to find a ride. We're not coming back to pick you up either. It's not going to be pretty. When you're rebuilding something, when you're doing something from scratch, as Ron did when he showed up, it's not going to be pretty. But you know what? You got to stay the course. And every decision he makes isn't going to be the right one. Getting rid of Dustin Hopkins in favor of Chris Blewett wasn't a smart decision. But you know what he didn't do? And this is what smart people do. He didn't belabor that decision, and he didn't try to make himself be right. He realized he made a mistake, and he righted a wrong immediately. A wise woman once told me, on the road to recovery, the first step is acknowledging that there's a problem. You can't fix something unless you acknowledge that it's broken. You can't fix a mistake unless you acknowledge that you made a mistake. He made a mistake, and he said, you know what? And remember, when he got rid of Dustin Hopkins, he said, whatever happens, it's on me. I made the decision. It's on me. He took the blame. He fell on the sword. He said, I made that decision. It's on me. He moved on from Blewett. He brought in Joey Sly. He's a sly guy. Doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. And he was outstanding today. That doesn't mean he's going to be outstanding every week. Okay? But he was great today. And we needed him to be. Because we couldn't afford a missed kick early in this game. And you know Dustin would have missed one. You know that. He would have missed a kick somewhere in there. Because there were 3 made field goals. Dustin doesn't kick 3 field goals without missing one. He was going to miss a field goal. So it was good to have Joey Sly out there. He'd have missed a field goal or an extra point or something. How big was their missed extra point? And the fact that we didn't miss one. That's the difference between them needing a touchdown and a field goal. They never got a chance, right? They never had the football with a chance to either take the lead or tie it. Because we did what we did on that final drive. And that's what winning teams do. That's what good teams do. Maybe the tables are turning. It's just one game, but it's a start. You can't get to the end. You can't get to the finish line if you never start. We just started today with a win. Let's see where it goes. This shit might be over next week. And it may be we started this week and it's over again next week. That's been the problem this season. We win one, and then the next week we don't follow up and build anything. We lose. Maybe this is the start, and the finish line is the playoffs. Maybe. Only one way to find out. But as Ron said, and I told you it was one of the most profound things he said this past week, you can't win 2 games at once. Can't win 3 without winning 1 first. Got to get 1. Well, we got the 1. Can we get a 2? And an amen? We'll see. And back to your point, John McDowell, we are going to look like the 72 Dolphins, the no-name defense. But guess what? We don't need a name. We just need guys to go out and do their damn jobs like they did today. And we'll be just fine. Just fine. David Kim, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy David Kim writes, Lou, your optimism on your show last week is what helped. We won because of third down conversions and good rush on GOAT. Would have won sooner if Milne didn't fumble. We might have won the game. Who's to say what would have happened? Heineke could have thrown a pick 2 plays later if Milne converts the third down. We don't know what would have happened. I don't want to rail and rag, because the young fella didn't do it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens. It's football. Mistakes happen. That's why it's important to pick your teammates up, right? That won't be the last time somebody makes a mistake on this team, And as fans, we're always at one end of the spectrum or the other. We either love a guy who just made a big play, or we can't stand the guy, get him out of here. William Jackson III makes the pick at the beginning. Oh yeah, William Jackson III, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And then he makes the penalty. Oh, get him off of the team. He's always doing this every week. There's a middle in there, guys. There's a middle. You can still be frustrated. It's a 15-yard penalty, okay? He didn't give up a 75-yard touchdown. He gave up a 15-yard face mask. Yeah, it was 3 points, and it hurt, and it was unnecessary. But it's not the end of the world. You don't have to be on one end of the spectrum or the other. There's a middle, right? There's a middle. Same with Dax Milne. He's a rookie. He's a young boy, all right? He's so young, and he's a baby. He's green behind the ears. His breath, it still smells and reeks of Similac. He's a youngin'. He made a mistake. John Bates almost made a mistake. His would have been more costly because it was right there. But they're youngins. They'll learn from their mistakes. Hey, I got to protect it. You saw what happened when he caught that one over the middle after Taylor went back to him. He covered that bitch up. You would have thought that his mom's life was on the line if he fumbled again. He wasn't even worried about getting yards after the catch. He was already backpedaling with 2 hands on the bitch. Like, he learned. Dax, he'll be fine. Okay? So, as far as would we have won sooner? You don't know that. Heineke could have thrown a pick 6 2 plays later. You don't know. What would have happened? We would have had a fresh set of downs. I would have loved to have found out. Maybe the game didn't have to be as close as it was. Maybe we wouldn't have. But I can say this too. That drive that we just went on at the end to put the exclamation point on this doesn't happen if he doesn't fumble. Now, maybe it wouldn't have had to happen, but I don't think it happens. But you know what? It did happen, and we persevered, and we saw adversity. It hit us in the face, and we didn't back down for the first time this season. That has to count for something. Because this season, in our 2 wins, we faced some adverse situations, but we were never playing with a lead. We were always coming from behind. We was coming from behind against the Giants after we threw the interception. They took the lead. We were coming from behind against the Falcons after we got a stop on third down and they punted us the ball. We were always playing from behind with nothing to lose. When you're ahead and you feel that breath on your neck, and you know you're not supposed to be here. You're 2-6. They're 6-2, and they're the defending Super Bowl champions. You hear footsteps. I keep hearing footsteps, baby, in the dark. Oh, in the dark. They hear the footsteps. Don't think they didn't feel the pressure of the Buccaneers and Tom Brady staring right down at them like, hey, make one more mistake. We dare you. Punt the football. Don't convert on third down. See what happened. Brady was over there warming up on the sidelines. He didn't want to sit down. He thought he was getting the rock back. He was ready to do us. He didn't want to go sit down. No, we about to get the ball back. They are 2-6, and they're about to prove it right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now. They're about to prove it. And I thought we were. But I said, change the narrative. This is your chance. Change the narrative. Dax Milne fumbled. So what? Change the narrative. I said that to the MOBB. Let's change the narrative. We're supposed to lose the game. We're 2-6. We're supposed to let the Buccaneers come back. On Sunday Night Football, when they're showing the highlights, Brady does it again. That's how this game is supposed to end. Down 13 in the fourth quarter. Brady engineers 2 touchdown drives, and they come back and beat Washington 27-23. That's how this game was supposed to go. Change the narrative. Well, we did. Felt damn good. Now do it again. Barry Curtis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Barry Curtis, who writes, love how Taylor was really surveying the field today instead of staring down receivers. Has this game changed your opinion on Taylor at all? No, it doesn't change. Look, he's got limitations. We can all acknowledge that. I told you when Taylor is the best version of himself, and I call it Heineke Ultra. Ultra, 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 ultra. When he's Heineke Ultra, he's going to give us a chance. When he's Heineke Light, we don't stand a chance. When he plays his game, he has a chance to be an NFL starter, a low-grade back end of the league NFL starter. Okay? He's really an NFL backup quarterback is what he is. A good one, a top-end NFL backup quarterback. That said, you can win football games with Taylor Heineke at quarterback. But he's got to play his game. I've said that already. When he doesn't play his game, when his legs are a non-factor, when he's not threatening the defense with his ability to run, which at times he did not do today, but at times, like early in the game when we were kind of on the fringe of field goal range, he runs on third and like 16 and gets like 13 and puts us in a much better position for a chip shot field goal. Doesn't seem like much. Doesn't really impact the stat sheet, but it didn't move the sticks, but what it did. And I thought Ron was going to think about going for it. But Ron, he learned from past weeks against Kansas City, against Green Bay in particular, when he decided not to take the points. I need to take the points. I need to give my defense a chance. They forced a turnover. They need to see that we got something out of this turnover. We can't give the momentum back to Tampa by not getting anything. So he kicked the field goal. But Heineke's run set it up to be a chip shot. Then on a third down late in the game, Heineke scrambles out to his left, outruns a couple of Tampa Bay Buccaneer defenders and gets the first down. It's a huge play in the game. There's another play. Doesn't seem like much. It's a second down and 8. But Heineke runs up the middle, avoids a guy, gets down and gets a gain of 3, makes it 3rd and 5. And then we convert to, I want to say, I forgot who we converted to. Might have been Terry on that third down. But again, these are the little plays in the game that you don't see, but it's him using his legs at the most opportunistic times. And he did that in this game. But no, it hasn't changed my mind. You know why? I need consistency. I've seen Heineke do this before. He's done it twice this season already. Once against Atlanta, once against the Giants. We know he's capable of doing this. Can you do it again? I'm double dog daring you right now. Do it again. Do it again. And then do it again after that. That's what separates backups from marginal starters, from good starters to the elite starters. Is every week we expect that out of Tom Brady, out of Aaron Rodgers, out of Russell Wilson, out of the list goes on and on and on. Why? Because they're elite. They stack consistent performances on top of one another. Elite performances. The above average quarterbacks like Derek Carr and guys like that in the league, you know what they do? They stack consistent performances, but you're going to get a stinker in there like we got from him last week. You can get a stinker in there or two. You know what I mean? But for the most part, they're consistent. Then you get the marginal guys. You don't know what the hell. It's hit or miss. That's where Heineke is. Back into the league, low-end starter, more of a backup. Where, hey, you can get the best out of Heineke. You can get a limited performance that doesn't really give his team a chance. And then you get the backups where you know there's no consistency whatsoever with this dude. You're probably not going to win the game. He might give you a chance. Might. He's got to do it again, and then again, and then again, and then maybe we start talking differently about him. But the limitations will never go away. His arm strength is what it is. His size, I cringe every time he gets hit. He rolled out on some Joe Montana shit, stopped, pulled up, and decided he tried to throw it and got blazed like Montana did against Leonard Marshall and the New York Giants. And I'm holding my breath like, Heineke, get up. And he popped up. But I was waiting to see, is that little grimace on his face? Every time, even if it's a little tap, he get up and it looks like he's in pain. He's tiny. Tiny Heine. Jay Lee. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jay Lee writes, rookies fumbled. Good. Learn from this win. I don't want the rookies to fumble. Like, that's not something you have to do to get better, is fumble the ball. But it happened. You know what I'm saying? It happened. I want them to grow and learn from it, though. You don't have to fumble the ball to learn how to secure it. Like, just protect the damn rock. But I guarantee you, now that he has fumbled, I guarantee you Dax Milne, when he sees a defender or feels like somebody's coming, I guarantee you get that extra protection on the rock now. Like, he's going to protect the ball a little bit better. That said, it happened. You like to correct mistakes with a win. And I've said that numerous times. You know, it's so much easier to correct mistakes when you win. So much easier. Jason Rogers. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Jason Rogers. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Jason Rogers, who writes, he said, man, Uncle Jay just wanted to hear the double up. LOL. Hey, really appreciate you, Uncle Jay, man. It's always good to hear from you, especially after a win, man. It's always good to hear from the resident uncle of the program, our own beloved Uncle Jay, a.k.a. Jason Rogers. Double up. Got another one here from B-Ball God. Double up. You get the double up as well. Thank you for your second super chat of the evening. B-Ball God writes, love WJ3 to death, but starting to think he may be just dumb. Played good, but stupid penalty. Again, I don't think he's slow or anything dumb. None of that. He made a mistake. Look, okay, I'm going to challenge a lot of you out there who have never played football. If you play football, then you know. If somebody is stiff-arming you, you're literally getting mushed in your face, right? And Mike Evans is 6'5", probably with like a 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", 7'1" wingspan, okay? So he sticks his arms out there. You're pretty far away from him at this point if he gets full extension on the stiff arm, which he had good extension on the stiff arm. At this point, William Jackson III is like, yo, I need to grab whatever I can grab. Shoulder pad, face mat. I'm just trying to grab him so he doesn't get away. My whole thing was he should have never been going high in that instance. He should have been going low because, again, he's running towards the sidelines. You've got help around you. He didn't know he had other guys around him. He's not looking to see who's around him. He's focused on making the tackle. I get that. However, you got to know the situation. There's no time left on the clock. This guy gets away from you. Chances of him making it to the end zone, slim and none, okay? It's not like he's in the middle of the field and you're the last line of defense. He's running towards the sidelines. If you don't make the tackle, either out of bounds is going to grab his ass or one of these other defenders is going to get him down or push him out of bounds. You don't need to face mask. You need to go low. He didn't. And so once you make the decision to go high, you're at his mercy because he's stiff-arming you. And Mike Evans grabbed his face mask too. It went both ways. His was more egregious, though. It was absolutely like, I'm grabbing you by your face mask, and I know I got the penalty. I'm getting my money's worth now. He literally threw him down by his face mask, which is why Mike Evans got up like, bro, what the man? Then he realized, I don't need to get a 15-yard penalty to negate this field goal that we about to get. So that's when he was like, bro, never mind. And he gave him a tap on the helmet, like, it's all good. And William Jackson came up to him like, yo, bro, I ain't mean no disrespect there. I won't trying to do that on purpose. And so it's all love. At the end of the day, he should have went low. He didn't go low, and he picked up the penalty. Shit happens. I don't want to see it. Had we lost this game by 2, we would be talking about that play, and we would have been lamenting it. We won the game. Hopefully, again, just like the young fellas learned, hopefully he learned a lesson there in that situation. Go low. What are we doing? HTTR for life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. HTTR for life writes, massive win, Louie. Scary Terry, a true number 1 wide receiver. Anybody that speaks the contrary, get him out of here. Like, that's big boy football right there, man. I don't know of how many receivers in the league can do what he did on that particular play right there. You know what I'm saying? And the game's on the line. I need my best players to give me their best efforts when the game is on the line like that. Biggest situations, that's when you go to your biggest and best players. Terry stepped up like a true number 1 should. William Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, why is Tom Brady literally freezing time? Hashtag Clockgate. I don't know what you're speaking of, but I know at the end of the game, it was just crazy how after we scored the touchdown, and I don't think this is what you're talking about. I just felt like it just took all day long to get the game over with, which was fine. But I mean, we had already won. I didn't care what they did. And, Vita Vea getting injured really slowed things down. But anyway, I digress. And I will bring this up because I see, as I'm scrolling up, I see a bunch of comments about Jonathan Allen, and nobody's brought him up. He was outstanding today again. And he's been the most consistent defender on that defensive line. And to think, and I was guilty of this as well, I thought he was the most expendable of the D-line group. And that couldn't be further from the truth. He might be the most invaluable of the group. Why? Because he's not only a hell of a player on the field, and he's proving that this year, he's also one of the more vocal leaders in the locker room as well. Jeremy Bramlett, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jeremy writes, Cowboys fan here. I do enjoy your videos. Keep up the good work. Good game for y'all. Congratulations. Thank you, Jeremy. I really do appreciate it. Same could be said for you guys. Big bounce back week, destroying the Atlanta Falcons. I thought you were going to win. I did not think you were going to win in that fashion that you did today. That was embarrassing. If you're Atlanta, that's a big win for the Cowboys. Thank you for that super chat, Jeremy Bramlett. Juan Gotti talking sports. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Juan Gotti writes, on SNOT, Sunday Night Overtime, I called it. You said I was crazy, rightfully so, but I called it. I'm starting to like Carter at wide receiver. How about you? You did call it. I remember you saying that. And I remember very vividly saying, hey, Juan Gotti, you tripping. You tripping. We're not beating the Buccaneers. And, I generally swat a lot of those away when people come at me when I think they're being outlandish. Because this was what gave any of us any hope that we were going to win other than, hey, the Dolphins did. Like other teams did it. That was our rationale. Well, if the Dolphins can, we're not the damn Dolphins. And the Buccaneers aren't the Ravens. We're not the Jags. And the Buccaneers aren't the Bills. Like that was the rationale. Well, if the Broncos can do it, if the Jags can do it, if the Dolphins can do it, why can't we do it? I'm like, because we're not those teams. Well, I was wrong. You're not getting a double O out of me because it wasn't one of those situations where a double O is warranted. But you guys are right. And in these situations, first of all, I hate being wrong. But if this is what being wrong feels like, I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong about beating teams like this. I want it to become normal to beat teams like this and feel like we should beat teams like this. I hate feeling like we got no shot. And then when we finally do win, you're like, wow, where did that come from? I'm sick of that. I want to feel like we got a shot against teams like this and not have it be this remarkable surprise. Like this will be one of those wacky games where everyone around the league will say, the NFL continues to be crazy. Look at Washington beating the Buccaneers because it's such a big upset. I don't know what the point spread was. I guarantee you we were at least 7-point dogs in this game. Don't ask me what the game went off at. Guarantee you it's no less than 7, probably 7.5. We beat them by 10 outright. So you were right. And I remember you saying that. As for DeAndre Carter, I said this 3 weeks ago. I really like this guy. And remember, when I said not having Curtis Samuel, it to me isn't as big a deal because I like DeAndre Carter. I said that. I said he's Curtis Samuel light. Part of the reason he's even on the roster is because if Curtis Samuel were to go down, you still would have that chunk of the playbook available to you. He offers you that. And they talked about him in camp. And I don't know if you guys remember, and I talked about this. He was making acrobatic catches, and they really liked him, not just as a return man, but also as a receiver. Now I was like, sounds good. I need to see it. Now we're seeing it. Week after week, he's making play after play. I like him a lot too. And I don't know who's going to be back and who's not going to be back next year, but he's going to be back. If he's healthy, he'll be back next year. Why? Because he not only gives us another viable option at receiver, but he's proven his worth as a returns man too, as a punt and a kickoff return man. So he just brings so much value to this roster. Absolutely love DeAndre Carter. Right now, if we're keeping it a buck with one another, who's the best offseason signing this year? I'm going to leave it at that. Carlton Bogano Jackson, my guy CPJ, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, man, what a dub. I'll take it anyway. He says, good effort on both sides. Shout out to Joey Sly, hometown 540, and also a friend of mine from high school, Mob. So Joey Sly from the 540. Okay. See you out there. CPJ, and he was huge today. You know, I don't want to discount, and I talk cold hard cash about Joey Sly, and I want him to make me wrong. Prove me wrong, make me a believer. We've seen this with kickers before. They bounce around from place to place, and then they finally find a home. And I said, I hope that that's Joey Sly for us. I'm not sold after one game, but he was good today. We'll see. And again, just like with Taylor Heineke, consistency is the key. So with Joey Sly, I need to see it continue. That's it. Consistency. So we'll see. Tony P 56. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for doubling up. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Tony P 56 there, who writes, goat meat for everybody. Slice it up. Serve it up. Thanksgiving meal for everybody. Sly gave us confidence. He did. You know, it's always refreshing when you know it doesn't matter where we are in the field. You know, once we get to a certain point, we think we got three points on the scoreboard. Now, you don't ever go into a situation thinking, well, we got 3. You know, if it's 3rd and 18 and you're at the other team's 30-yard line, you're thinking, okay, don't take a sack here. We got 3 points, you know. But you know, it's good to know that it's 3rd and 14. And if we don't get the first down, Ron doesn't have to consider going for it on 4th and 10 because he doesn't think his kicker can make a 53-yard field goal. You know what I'm saying? So I think he definitely gave a lot of confidence to people in this game for sure. Without a doubt. Ed B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the membership to the MOBB, who writes, focus going forward should be on the team due to injuries. It won't be on the individuals. Let's test that depth. Great team win. This is part of what Ron wanted to do when he first got here. One of the biggest weaknesses of this team was we lacked depth. When we had injuries to our frontline starters, we could not overcome them during the Jay Gruden, Bruce Allen administration. When Chris Thompson went down and when Jonathan Allen went down and, the list goes on, and we didn't have other guys to step up. What this team has shown me in the first year and a half of Ron's plan is we've got depth, and it's been tested. It was tested last year in the secondary, specifically, in this at the safety position. Guys stepped up, made plays last year. The offensive line depth, if you recall last year, we went through 4 or 5 tackles, it felt like. Morgan Moses had to play left tackle one game. So we went through it last year at the tackle position. At least 4 different tackles for sure. And I think there might have even been a 5th in there somewhere. I think last year it was Jaron Christian. Then it was Cornelius Lucas. Then it was David Sharp. And it was Morgan Moses. So 4 tackles. We went through 4 tackles last year. And we overcame it. The receiver position was ravaged by injuries last year. We were counting on all kinds of dudes. Undrafted guys. Remember, at one point, Terry was the only drafted receiver on the roster. Dontrell Inman and Isaiah Wright. All these guys were undrafted. Like, what are we doing right now? Cam Sims and Steven Sims, like all of these dudes. But we got it done. Same thing this year. The depth is being tested. Offensive line depth was tested early. But we said that was the deepest group on the team was offensive line. So did you call Tyler Lawson's name today? You probably didn't. You know why? Because he played his ass off. That's why. Okay? Brandon Sheriff goes out of the game. I don't worry when he goes down. Wes Schweitzer is going to come in and do just fine. I don't worry. Sam Cosmi can't go today. Okay, fine. Cornelius Lucas, get out there and bust some ass. And he did. We find ways to get it done. Receiver position has been in flux all season long. Thought we were going to have Curtis Samuel. Hasn't been healthy. Thought we were going to have De'Ami Brown. Hasn't been healthy. So next guy, Cam Sims. This is his 2nd game back from injury after missing the previous 5. Dudes are stepping up. All right, DeAndre Carter, get in there. Make something happen. Adam Humphries, your turn. Dax Milne, we need it. The depth is being tested, and we keep answering the bell. No Logan Thomas. All right, Ricky Seals-Jones, you're up. Ricky Seals goes down. All right, John Bates, we drafted you in the 4th round. Let's see what you got. He steps up, has a big catch. Depth is being tested with this team over and over and over again. We keep passing. Quarterback position last year. Don't get me started on that. So I assume it's going to continue. No Benjamin St. Juice today. No Benjamin St. Juice. Danny Johnson, get out there and do what Danny Johnson does. Give us more quality snaps. I love it. I love it. Real Davy Productions. Everything. I thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I don't think people realize how good Taylor Heineke is. He says, is good at selling his fakes. You can't teach that. Nice to see Ron's plan starting to set within the young guys. Ron's plan has always been about a youth movement. A lot of y'all didn't understand that. I kept explaining that to you. That the reason he didn't re-sign Ryan Kerrigan. Why? Not because Kerrigan didn't have anything left to give. Because Ryan Kerrigan wasn't a part of the future. When we start to get good, Kerrigan would no longer be a fixture on his team. His purpose was served by being here and a mentor to Chase Young and Montez Sweat and some of these younger guys and showing them how to take care of their bodies, how to do this, how to prepare on a weekly basis. And now it's time for him to go. Now I want to get these young boys in here and get them more snaps. Adrian Peterson being pushed out the door, not because he can't play still, but because he wasn't a part of the long-term future of this team. I want J.D. McKissick to get reps. I want Antonio Gibson to get reps. These guys need to play. You're seeing Ron's plan. Morgan Moses, same deal. We got a young guy in Sam Cosmi we spent the second round pick on. I can't have him sitting on the bench. That's not going to help him. So Morgan Moses has to go. Sam, you're in there. Let's see what you got. And you can go across the board with that. That's the thought process. So you see it happening. And you see these young boys coming in and making a difference. Yeah, Dax Milne fumbled today. You know what? Dax Milne had 2 catches today too. He's gaining confidence. I like what I'm seeing. It's all a part of Ron's plan. And Heineke does have a good fake game. You know, even that fake to DeAndre Carter where he faked the handoff and then he ducked down a little bit and then flipped it up to him. I mean, the theatrics was cute. It was only a 4-yard game, but still. And I like that. You know, he had a fake toss, bootleg out where he hit. I want to say it was, I can't remember who it was on that. Was it Terry? Was it Cam Sims? It was down the field, though. I think it was Terry. And I said, that's good shit. Like, move the pocket. You know, like I told Scott, the address can't always be the same. We got to change the heading on the address so when the Bucs try to deliver this letter, it doesn't get to them. When they shoot that blitz out there, hey, take this fake pitch. We're going to boot out to the right to his strong side and get him out the pocket. And he made a completion and get a drive started. I think we ended up scoring on that drive. That's what we need more of. I like that. Let's see. We got any more super chats? Got one here from Ken C. Thank you for the super chat, Ken C. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, is it better for us to win more games to give up the season for next season? So far, it looks like Cowturks got the division. Of course, it's not better to give up. I mean, what kind of a question is that? You know how I feel about that. And I've already said, I'm not looking at tank. I can't stand that word. I can't stand the concept. It makes little to no sense to me. Only time that makes sense is you're in the midst of a 3-13 season and you got 1 game left, or you're 3-12 and you got 2 games left on the season. The difference between you going 5-12 and 3-14, it's negligible, except for in draft standing. And at that point, you're like, okay, what's the purpose of winning 2 more games? It's not going to do anything, right? Except lose you draft position. We're not at that point of the season yet. We got plenty of football left to play. So you want these guys going out and winning every game that they possibly can win. And again, when you're trying to change a culture, it's hard to do that when you're losing. The message doesn't get through to guys when you're telling them to do it this way. Trust me, it works. And they're like, you sure it works? Because every time we go out there, we lose ball games. You sure doing it the way that you keep telling us to do it works? It's hard to convince grown-ass men that what you're saying is the right way to do something when there are no results. So winning is a must. Kevin, the PRF. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Kevin, the PRF writes, Mob Squad, SWAT up. Infiltrators and hackers meet me at LT outside of the DEA headquarters. Destroy all evidence that starts with V. Hashtag free Vermilion. Seems like all these injuries started the week this man was being investigated by the DEA. Golly, that Falcons game and his subsequent removal from the organization and being put on administrative leave has really been like, it seems like the beginning of the end of health for this team. It's crazy. So it does seem like we got to find a way to bust him out of that joint and get him back, because injuries have just been coming left and right. I'm not lying. Anyway, Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Derek B, thank you for being a member of the MOBB writes, 2021 bad teams with miracle wins. Feels good to get one. Yeah. And that's what this is right now. It's a one-off until we prove otherwise. We literally are a bad team that had one good week. The narrative doesn't change until we change it. But you can't get 2 wins in a row without winning one first. So I'm going to give them every opportunity and the benefit of the doubt and say that, hey, this is the beginning of something. But fact of the matter is we've won, like I said, we've won twice this season. We have not won 2 games in a row. So right now we're still a bad team that just happened to get lucky and catch the Buccaneers on a bad week, coming off of a bye week, and we won a game. So what? Who cares? You're 3-6. Do it again. That's the same thing the Eagles fans are saying to their team. Okay, you beat the hapless Detroit Lions. Do it again. They couldn't do it the following week. They lose to the Chargers at home. Giants fans, that's what they're screaming after the bye week. Okay, we beat the Raiders. We feel really good. Okay, do it again. Let's see if they can do it again when they come off the bye week. We got a chance to do it again against the Panthers next week. Do it again. Or you're still a bad team. Because bad teams, they have one good game, right? Do it again. The Great Watubi, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. The Great Watubi writes, best played game of the year. Hail, MOBB. Yeah, without a doubt. It's not even close. I said at the end of this game, this feels like Pittsburgh all over again. You know, we were so proud after that game. It felt so good. It was improbable. And the only difference was that was in Pittsburgh. And they were undefeated. And, you know, the odds were stacked against us, even though the Steelers had a lot of, you know, adversity coming into that game. They had a short week. They had, you know, the COVID situation. They had to reschedule the game, push it back, all of that good jazz. It didn't matter to us. You know, it was still a big win. And this one feels big. It feels like Pittsburgh. It feels like a momentum builder. That Steelers win, even though we had already won a game, you know, previous to that, or 2 weeks we had won in a row. We were coming off that drubbing of Dallas on Thanksgiving. And so we even got an extra day off because they had to move that game from Sunday to Monday. And it gave us the confidence that we needed to then do what we did the following week, which was go to San Francisco and have the defense pretty much carry us to a victory. This victory this week, it feels Steelers-ish, but what are we going to do next week for an encore? We'll see. Without a doubt, best game of the season for us. The first time we've played a complete game, first and second half. Barrett Downey, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, BD. Greatly appreciate you, who writes. So what do you think about the ends we are playing now? They might have more than just a bull rush in their suitcase. Great win. We're going to have to see. I mean, I can't tell you much about any of these guys that we'll have out there. I mean, what I expect now, because we don't have a pure one-on-one winner with Sweat and Young out of the lineup, off the edges, that is. I expect a lot of twists and stunts, a lot of games up front where you're going to see a guy rushing up the field, a guy stop, peel underneath, and try to create pressures that way. I don't see a lot of just straight up one-on-ones. Everybody try to win your guy, matchup one-on-one. Now we go back to this defensive philosophy where, look, the opposition doesn't have anybody. They've got the game plan to stop. And I know a lot of you say they didn't have to stop Chase Young before. They still had to make sure they knew where he was at all times. You don't have to do that now. So now we're going to have to find ways. And now Jack Del Rio is going to have to earn his keep. This is when he's going to have to find a way to scheme up some pressures. Just because we don't have a true dominant rusher now in the lineup doesn't mean we need to stop getting pressure. Find ways to affect the quarterback. He did that in this game. He'll have to do it again next week and the week after that and the week after that. Beloved Rain 44. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Beloved Rain 44 writes, Lou, it was a great win today. Indeed it was. I'm still on a wait and see approach. Do you think it was a season-ending injury for Chase? Yes, I do. I'm still on in a wait and see mode as well, because I said consistency. Just with same thing with Heineke, same thing with this team. Heineke to me is a microcosm of this team as he goes, and that's not that dissimilar from any other team around the league. As your quarterback goes, so do you. Your quarterback doesn't play well, then you don't have a chance to play well. It's not that dissimilar around the league. And Heineke plays well, it gives us a chance. The defense, they have to be the X factor, you know? Like Heineke is supposed to be solid, not asking for him to be a world beater. This defense was supposed to be the catalyst. Well, it hasn't been. But if it can get back to being what we thought it was going to be when the season started, then they become the X factor if the offense can just be solid. Because that defense was supposed to be what carried us. And if the offense was just solid, we would be fine. So we'll see what happens. But I'm with you. The consistency piece is what we've been missing this season. We need to see it. And Chase is definitely done. Again, I don't have any confirmation on his injury. But trust me, we've all seen it. We've all been football fans long enough and seen enough ACL/Achilles injuries to know he's done for the season. You know, you don't go down like that on essentially, and his wasn't quite non-contact. He was in contact with the tackle, but there was no force really being applied to him that would force his knee to buckle in the manner that it did. Yeah, his season's done. Pilo Dollars. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, "Hey, Lou. What's up, Pilo? Is it safe to say we had dogs and shit out there today? Terry is an animal." Yeah. Cam Curl has always been a dog to me. But I thought him and Cole Holcomb were the two standouts defensively for me. They were flying around the football field, similar to in the way that Landon Collins was flying around against Denver. And I also thought this was a good game from Jamin Davis. He's starting to flash as well. But I thought it was Cole Holcomb and Cam Curl's show today. You know, Curl forcing that first interception to pop into the air and getting the pick by William Jackson. Cole Holcomb did a tremendous job on the second pick of coming underneath the route Brady wanted to throw to. And it was Holcomb's undercut of that route that forced Brady to have to put that ball a little bit higher than he wanted to. He wanted to really throw it on a frozen rope. Cole Holcomb undercutting that route and taking it away forced Brady to have to layer that throw, meaning he needed to put a little touch over the top to get it over him, and he wasn't able to do it. And he put too much sauce on it, and it went right to the safety, Bobby McCain, just like it did against the Denver Broncos. The only difference is he didn't drop this one like he did against Denver. He caught it. So that was the biggest difference. Thank you for the super chat, Rocky White. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Rocky writes, "Lou, the GOAT, shout out to you for always being the first one live. Hail, the legend of Heineke grows? Question mark, question mark. We'll see if it's TLH time or not. I just know this was Heineke Ultra, 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 Ultra. And I said we needed Heineke Ultra, not Heineke Light, Heineke Ultra, and we got it today. The legend of Heineke only grows when he plays well consistently. And the last time he had a stretch where he played some great ball 2 out of 3 weeks. Week 2 against the Giants, week 4 against the Falcons. And that's when the legend was really growing, you know? But we're going to see if the legend is going to grow or not. Got a chance to go back to his old stomping grounds. And every time he's had some sort of, revenge game, he's been outstanding. This Bucs game was a sort of a revenge game. The Falcons game was a homecoming, revenge sort of game. Now let's see what he does, Let's see what he does. Going back to Carolina. Thank you for the super chat, Rocky White. Vincent Coe. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Vincent Coe. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, "Yo, Lou, you're hot fly as F, though. Hey, I got to give it a shout out to my guy, Shucks. Why is his name escaping me right now? See, I'm going to kill myself if I'll be thinking about it all game. So I got to go back up and find him because I won't be able to focus without knowing his name. And I don't know. I said his name 800 times over the last 2 weeks. And I still can't remember his name right now. I had a brain fart. Tony P56. There it is. My guy, Tony P56. I can't take any credit for this hat. It's all Tony P56 with the drip. So Tony P56 held the kid down, blessed me with the hat, and got to give him all the credit in the world for getting me this dope lid. And I had to wear it today because it's like a sign of a breath of fresh air, but maybe a sign of good luck and good fortune and things to come. That this hat that I've been wearing the last week and a half produces this kind of a win. I'm somewhat superstitious, not like, oh my God, this guy is super superstitious. I am a little superstitious. So I said, look, the hat's been doing well. Going to keep wearing it. And thank you for the super chat, Vincent Cole. All the credit goes to my guy, Tony P56. Once again, thanks for the drip. 1/6 Devil Doc. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, "You're killing it, Lou. Keep doing what you're doing." Thank you. You know what it is, man. Like I told you, win, lose, or draw, I'm going to be here. But it's moments like these, it's games like these that make all of these losses and all of these weeks dressed in all black, it makes it worth it. I'm a card collector, right? And I've got another channel. It's called the Card Collector Series. So if any of you are card collectors out there and you want to watch me, on this journey that I'm on as a card collector, check that channel out, subscribe to it, watch the videos. But as a card collector, you go through copious amounts of packs and boxes that don't really yield you a lot in terms of, hits and dividends. I call all of my box openings and unboxings and pack rips, I call them hunts. I'm on a hunt for big ticket items and hits. And you go through a bunch of, boxes and packs of really nothing in order to have that one box where you hit it big and you're like, yes, this makes it all worth it. And all these weeks of dressed in all black like the Omen and talking about quarterbacks and this, that, and the third, it's weeks like this that make it worth it. I want more of them. Just like I want more hits in my card collection, I want more of these wins. And we're capable. But we got to be consistent. Thank you for the super chat, 1/6 Devil Doc. Twin D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Twin D. Before I read your comment, I need to say this to you because I looked at your picks again this week because you've been killing it this year. And I saw that you picked us. And I said, this damn Twin D, man, he doesn't know when to quit. I said, he's been having this great fortune this year. And I said, because normally you pick some bullshit. You pick some off the wall shit. And I'm like, his picks are trash. And he's going to end up with 8-9 losses. And this has been your year where the crazy picks are the good picks. And I looked at and I didn't look at all your picks. I just saw you pick Washington. I said, there he go up to his. I said, but you know what? It's been his year and he picked Washington this week. Maybe, just maybe they're going to win because Twin D picked us. And it came to fruition. I don't know what your comment is. I'm going to read it right now. He says, LT, you say my picks are wild. See, we're here. We're here. He says, I picked Washington football team this week. And I just acknowledged that. I looked at your sheet and I said, this damn Twin D picked us to win this week. He says, if the Eagles win today, I have 2 out of the 3 in the NFC East. And I saw you pick the Eagles and I saw you did pick the Falcons too, I think. That said, I said, man, he stayed picking some off the wall shit. And usually it doesn't work out for you this year. You've been killing it. And I got to give you your credit and your props because it's one thing to say Washington's going to win. It's another thing when you put your money where your mouth is and you consistently do that. And I got to give you credit for that. Like, I don't respect when people just, we're going to win this week. Put your money where your mouth is, okay? You do that on a weekly basis, so I got to give you credit where credit is deserved. And, you pick Washington. They came through for you. We'll see if it ends up helping you win the pool again. But shout out to my guy, Twin D, for picking this one and seeing it before it happened. Got to give you credit for sure. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Metaphor, writes, Sunday night football going to be fresh tonight. Enjoying a win with an ice-cold grapefruit shanty. Just got to pour a bit of hours out for the homie Chase. Yeah, I'm on my fast right now, so no alcoholic or adult beverages for me right now. That all ends on Thanksgiving. That's when I go buck wild. But after this is done, I'm going to have me a nice salad. Boy, is it going to be delicious. It is going to be quite tasty, and I'm going to savor it. I'm going to savor all of the Sunday night football coverage. I'm going to see if anybody actually gives us credit or man, the Buccaneers played a horrible game. We forced those turnovers, and we took it to them and their defense. We'll see what the narrative is after the, when it's all said and done. I don't care. We won, and that's all that matters. And Sunday night and Monday night, for that matter, it's all going to be great. Soak it up, and that's what I tell you guys. Enjoy this. You don't know when we're going to get another one. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB and for being the resident OG, triple OG. My guy, Chauncey Davis, writes, Lou, Chauncey, we need to breathe, relax, and enjoy one game at a time. I couldn't agree more. That's why you're the OG, imparting knowledge and dropping gems on our melon at every turn. Y'all heard the OG. Relax, breathe, and enjoy one game at a time. Just take this one for what it is. It's one game. Okay? We may not win another game this season. Highly unlikely. But you don't know what's going to happen. Just enjoy this one. Savor it. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to do it again next week. But just enjoy this one for now. Big Money Sonny. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Big Money Sonny writes, Brady really thought he was going to get the ball back. That 19-play drive can't be talked about enough. I have no nails left. I want to talk about that drive some more because I talked about it already. But seriously, after the touchdown, Brady took his hat, after the fumble, Brady got excited, took his ball cap off, put his helmet on, and abruptly went out on the field and threw a touchdown pass to Mike Evans. And Brady goes back on the sidelines, and all game, Brady had been sitting down with his cap on, waiting patiently for his turn, and looking at the tab to see what he did wrong, why they didn't convert on this third down, and why they had to punt, or what happened on the interception. All game, he had been sitting on the bench with his little ball cap on and just chilling. Now Brady started to smell blood in the water. Brady goes over, they scored a touchdown. He doesn't want to sit down now. Brady's over there warming up. We getting back out there. I'm about to beat these boys. I'm about to do them. So he doesn't want to sit down. Now he's playing toss. Keep the arm warm because I'm going out there and I'm stroking these boys. And we put together the ultimate ice cold drive. I mean, cold-blooded. You talk about getting guys and keeping them off the field and letting them get cold. You don't get any colder than what we did to Brady. We gave him a cold shoulder. Bro, sit. Get comfortable. You're not getting a chance to do us today. 19 plays, 80 yards, 10 minutes and 26 seconds? Are you kidding me? We don't do things like that. And cap it off with a touchdown? We don't do things like that. Again, that's winning football. How many times have I cried this year about where's our 4-minute offense? Where's our ability to keep it away from the other team and not give them a chance to beat us at the end? That's as good as it gets. You can't do the 4-minute offense any better than that, except it was 10 minutes and 30 seconds of offense. Atlas013. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, I'm late. It's all good. Better late than never. I had plans. I couldn't watch. What's the story to this game? Atlas, you missed a hell of a ball game. So just to quickly recap, we started off this game. First of all, the nerve of the Buccaneers. See, this is the shit. I love when people have shit backfire on them and the disrespect. If the Buccaneers were playing the Packers and they won the toss, they don't receive. They defer until the second half. But you know what Bruce Arians said? Hey, this Washington team, they're ass. And they give it up on the opening possession of every game. And you know what you do to bad teams? You jump on them early. You let them know today's not your day. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to win the toss. We're going to receive the football. and we're going to take this kickoff. We're going to march it down the field, and we're going to take a 7-0 lead, and we're not going to look back. I said, oh, the audacity of these dirty, dick, dastardly Bucs. They're going to win the toss, and they're going to receive. Okay. I see that shit. And we got a 3-and-out, Atlas. We got a 3-and-out on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. I don't know if that's the first time we've done it this season, but it felt like the first time we got a 3-and-out in the first set of downs. Anyway, then it got us great field position. So we took that field position and we turned it into a Joey Slye field goal. Welcome to Washington, Joey Slye. After that, the very next possession, like the first play on the next possession, William Jackson, the 3rd interception. Brady checks it down to Jalen Darden, a rookie, a receiver out of North Texas. Cam Curl comes up and hits him beautifully right on the ball. Ball caroms in the air. William Jackson, the 3rd, picks it off. We get another field goal out of that. Should have got a touchdown. Got a field goal out of that. Then we get the very next possession. Brady tries to go to his receiver over the middle of the field. I want to say it was Godwin. It might have been Evans. It was one of the two. Cole Holcomb undercuts it. Brady has to try to lay it over him. Throws it right to Bobby McCain, interception. We get a touchdown. Ron has to go for 2 on that one. Or excuse me, Ron has to go for it on 4th down. We convert on 4th and 3 to keep the drive alive to J.D. McKissick. And we ultimately ended up scoring a touchdown. Beautiful throw from Heineke to DeAndre Carter from about 30 yards out for a touchdown. So we take a 13-0 lead. We hold the the Buccaneers to 3 points, really the entire half. It's 13-3. We're going into halftime with the lead. We kick a field goal right before the half. It's the first time, the announcer said, the first time Washington has scored a touchdown on all 4 of its first half possessions since like 2016. It's some crazy number like that. It's ridiculous. So we kick another field goal. It's 13-3. Brady gets it. They don't have a lot of time, and they throw an underneath pass with 4 seconds left. Clocks run out. They got a chance to we got a chance to get out of there with just 13-3, and William Jackson III has a face mask penalty. So it's an untimed down. They get 15 yards, which puts them in the field goal range. They make the field goal. It's 13-6 or 16-6, excuse me, at halftime. 16-6. We come out. We don't score on the opening possession, but the Buccaneers do. And it's 16-13. And at that moment, we needed a response. It felt like the Chiefs game. You dominate, you force all these turnovers in the first half, but you don't have anything to show for it. And remember, we were up 16-10 against the Chiefs, missed the field goal. Dustin Hopkins, we're up 13-10 against the Chiefs. Dustin Hopkins missed the field goal to make it 16-10. They scored a touchdown, go up 17-13. The rest is history. We didn't respond when adversity hit, and they ran away and beat us 31-13. Same scenario, different outcome. They cut it to 3 at 16-13. We go down the field, respond with a touchdown. The key play on that drive, Cam Sims interfered with in the end zone, puts it at the 1-yard line. It was a great drive before then. I don't want to minimize the drive. It was an excellent drive. Cam Sims interfered with in the end zone. Ball's at the 1-yard line. Gibby and the offensive line do a great job of getting it in. Touchdown, back out to a 10-point lead, 23-13. Get to the fourth quarter. We've got a 23-13 lead with 13 minutes left. We're driving the football, and Dax Milne fumbles. And the Buccaneers recover. Brady, about maybe 6 plays later, in the end zone, touchdown Mike Evans. And just like that, it's 23-19. Their extra point is missed. So instead of it being a 3-point game and a field goal ties it, they still need a touchdown now to win. I said, look, we need another response. I get it. It sucks that the offense turned it over, put you in a tough spot. You could have forced a field goal. You didn't. All right, offense, pick them up. You left them out to dry. Now you got to pick them up. And what we witnessed with essentially 11 minutes to go was one of the greatest things these eyes have ever seen in terms of a game-clinching drive. 19 plays, 80 yards, 5 of 6 on third downs. And then the 1 third down we didn't convert. We go for it on 4th down and goal from the 1, and Gibby runs it in to cap off a 19-play, 80-yard, 10-minute, and 26-second 10-minute, 26-second drive that put the game on ice, 29-13. 19. So that's your recap of the game. Chase Young got injured in the second quarter of this game. Tore his Achilles or ACL, we assume. He's done for the season. Whatever he did, he's done for the season. Came back on the sidelines with crutches. Ricky Seals-Jones also hurt in the game as well. So did not come back. Looks like a hamstring for him. Terry got injured. He did return, made some big catches, none bigger than the one late in the game. On the final drive where we put it away, Terry had a big 3rd and 5 catch where he got hammered. And it should have been a defenseless receiver penalty. They didn't call it. Terry gets up, flexes on those boys, and showed why he's a true number 1 in this league. And also, Brandon Sheriff got injured, but he also returned to the game. Big Money Sonny. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Big Money Sonny writes, do you think we'll see consistency with the defense and Heineke's play the rest of the way? All winnable games remaining in front of us. Let's go. That's the hope. I can't guarantee anything. Heineke's fully capable. We know this. We've seen it. But the consistency piece, just like I said with the team, has been missing. The defense, same thing. We've seen the defense play well in spurts. Never for a whole game. This is the first whole game they've really played well. Even though they weren't as good in the second half as they were the first half, they still were good enough for us to win. And we haven't seen them do it in consecutive games, where we actually were able to benefit from it. I told you this has been coming since the Green Bay game. But we wondered, okay, was it just the competition, right? Like, defense is playing better, but look who they've done it against. Not the best teams in the league, you know what I'm saying? Not the best offenses in the world. So this was a good challenge, and they stepped up to the challenge. So I'd say that they're capable of it, but again, we got to see. That's the key. J Mart, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. J Mart, greatly appreciate you. Who writes, happy Vets Day to my brothers and sisters in arms. Happy belated Veterans Day. Again, I said that on my podcast. Somebody had to remind me because I had totally forgot. But it's a month-long thing for the NFL, the month of November, and you can't thank the vets enough for what they do. They epitomize everything that this country stands for, honestly. So can't thank the vets enough for the sacrifices that they make so that we can have the freedoms and liberties that we have in this country. Well said, J Mart. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you as well. Dominic Garland, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Dominic writes, it was a great win against a Super Bowl contender. How you feel about that? I feel great. It shows that when we play our best brand of ball, we're capable of beating anybody in the league. But again, as we've seen with Jacksonville beating Buffalo, they're a Super Bowl contender. And we saw with Buffalo or Denver beating Dallas. Dallas is a Super Bowl contender, whether you want to admit it or not. As we saw with the Dolphins beating the Ravens, they're a Super Bowl contender. And what we saw with the Jets beating the Titans. The Titans right now might be the best team in football, and the Jets beat them. Anybody can be beaten by anybody on any day. It's a one-off. I feel great, not just because we beat the Super Bowl defending champions and a team that could go on to win the Super Bowl yet again this season. I just feel good because we beat somebody. We won a damn game. This could have been the Lions. I would have felt good. But it was the Bucs. It makes it feel even better. It's a good team, which means we're capable of beating good teams, right? That's what that means. So I feel great about what we just did. Now, we got to do it again. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Chauncey. First of all, double up. Thank you for doubling up, Chauncey, who writes, Lou, Chauncey, today was a confidence builder. Changing gears a little. How's your wife and the twins doing? I appreciate what you do. Wife is doing excellent, hanging in there. She's a trooper, man. I swear. She's the real MVP. Had a little bit of a scare yesterday. Had to go to the hospital. Blood pressure was a little high. But the twins are doing well. She's doing well. Blood pressure is back down where it needs to be. And we're in great spirits. So thank you for asking. And this was definitely a big win. And hopefully it's a confidence builder that will lead to more victories. That's the hope. King Shane, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. I remember you was like, look, Lou, if it wasn't for you, I would be bailing on this team. Glad to hear from you, King Shane, who writes, Lou, I was so big-headed after this win. I looked at overtime with the Steelers and Lions and said, these teams straight trash, LOL. Again, that's the pot calling the kettle black. Let's not do that, okay? Let's not start pointing to other bad teams. And the Steelers aren't a bad team. They didn't have Ben Roethlisberger today. Their problem isn't defense. They can stop anybody from scoring. Their problem, even with Roethlisberger, who they did not have today, is offense. They're offensively challenged. They have been all season long, and they're going to continue to be because their offense lacks explosiveness. And now that they don't have Chase Claypool for the foreseeable future, that's going to really hamper them because he was really after him and Deontay Johnson are truly the two guys that really can hurt you deep. I mean, James Washington every now and again, but they struggle to score, do the Steelers. So I knew the Lions were going to have a chance. And when Roethlisberger was declared out with COVID, that just made it even worse. So, again, I didn't get to watch that game to its conclusion. It was in overtime. Anything could have happened. But, look, the Lions stink. The Steelers, they're good defensively, so they're going to have a chance. But we're in no position to point at anybody and laugh. So, you're right. You got big-headed. I need you to come back down to earth and realize who your favorite football team is before you start pointing at people and laughing, okay? For sure. Thank you for the super chat, King Shane. See if we got any more super chats. And we do have one from Marlena K. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Marlena, who writes, who's the best offseason acquisition? Leno. Not even close. I think Leno is definitely there. He's been the most consistent. I think it's a tie between Leno and DeAndre Carter. Those are the two right now that, to me, stand out. You know what? Don't forget about Eric Flowers either. You know, a lot of times we shit on the offensive linemen because they're unsung heroes. If we don't call their name, it means they're doing a good job. But if you don't call their name, how do people know they're doing a good job? So it's almost like a catch-22 with offensive linemen. You don't want to call their name because if you don't call it, then they're doing a good job. But at the same time, you need to make sure that people understand that these guys are doing a great job. And Leno has been really solid this season, really. And Ron Rivera even said, look, I thought Leno was a one-year stopgap. Ron sounds like they want to re-sign Charles Leno after the season. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Leno gets a 3-year, $33 million deal to remain in Washington after the season. Like, Ron sounds really impressed with Leno, and he's been really solid, has Charles Leno Jr. That said, Eric Flowers right next to him, who we traded for, has been really good and a stabilizing force at guard. So he's another guy that I would throw in that mix. And then DeAndre Carter. Right now, for the bang for my buck, has a kickoff return in a massive game against the Falcons. That kick return was just as important and pivotal in that win as anything else that was done in that game. He stabilized the returns game as a punt returner and a kickoff return man, which was huge. That was a huge problem for us last year. And he's proven to be a dynamic receiver as well. When he touches it, every time something can happen. Had a big run. He fumbled at the end of it against Green Bay, but he had a big run in that game on a little touch pass. Had the touchdown grab against the Broncos, has a touchdown pass this week, a receiving touchdown, I should say. So that's 2 weeks in a row. So I think Leno definitely, I think it's 1A, B, and C with Leno, Flowers, and with DeAndre Carter. Thank you for the super chat, Marlena K. 99 problems, Chase ain't one. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, our O-line deserves praise. Clearly, salute to them. While Heineke was sacked 4 times on the day, I think that 2 of those sacks are charged to the offensive line's account. Like Heineke didn't really have a chance 2 of those sacks, I think, were on Heineke. I one in particular, I know. Ball was supposed to come out quick. That got taken away. Heineke didn't know what to do. And next thing you know, Devin White's on him in a flash, in a blur. All he could do was duck, But I thought the offensive line, for the most part, was solid. Really solid. Against this Buccaneers edge, group with JPP and Shaq Barrett, and then Vita Vea inside and William Golston and all the guys that they could throw at you, Raheem, Nunez, Roches, like they got guys and they can cycle them in and out. And for the most part, he was protected in this game. Shout out to Tyler Lawson coming in and not missing a beat. Like the depth of this offensive line has been stellar, and they definitely deserve some praise and some props. So yeah, 99 problems. Chase ain't one. Salute to the offensive line for sure. Redskins review. Shout out to Redskins review. I told you guys, AKA B Militant. We were talking on socials, and he was like, look, Ron needs to have these boys ready to play on Sunday. No excuses. If the Dolphins can come out and play inspired ball, why can't we? And he was spot on. And I know you've also been beating the drum for Heineke and thinking that he can do it, be a starter in this league. And Redskins review says, to that point, not bad for a backup QB. Not bad at all. I still think he's a backup quarterback. But again, what makes the difference is consistency in this league, right? So he's done this before where he's had a stellar game. He outdueled Tom Brady today. Let's call it what it is. Brady threw two interceptions and made some mistakes and didn't make clutch plays on third down. And Heineke did. But it's easy in this league to go from outdueling Tom Brady one week to getting your ass kicked by the Panthers and Cam Newton the following week. And that's the problem that we've got to try to avoid next week, is to have a major letdown after this high of beating the Buccaneers this week. So we'll see. Right now, he's still a backup. And consistency is the only thing that's going to change that. His arm strength isn't going to get any stronger. He's not going to get any taller. He's not going to have any more, anticipation can grow with more experience, sure. But he's not going to get any faster as a quarterback running. He's not going to get any bigger, really, to fill out his frame. His frame is what it is. Only thing that can change is his consistency, week in, week out. He starts to do that, maybe the narrative changes. But right now, he's a backup. Thank you for the super chat, Redskins review. Super chat here from GearCell1. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. GearCell1 writes, still not a big fan of Ron's plan. Clearly, you've got Ron dressing in all kinds of stuff on a weekly basis. However, he says, this was an unexpected win. I call these UOs, unexpected outcomes. Okay. He says, guess I'll put some hot pants with white dress shoes and send you a pic. Tragic. Go Ron for now. Uh-oh. So you're the one that's tragic this week. All right. And I want you to have on, and I want those hot pants to stop a little bit high so that I can see your fishnet stockings underneath with your white dress shoes. Thanks for the super chat, GearCell1. Barry Curtis. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Barry writes, have you gotten a chance to watch Malik Willis and Corral? I watched the game that they played against one another. I haven't watched film on them. So, like I said, I wasn't impressed with Malik Willis, but you can see he's got a lot of the stuff that you're looking for, but it was not a good performance at all. And I'm not going to just judge him off of that one game, as I mentioned. There's a lot more Malik Willis tape to comb through. But, that's a big game. You played the stiffest competition you've seen in your entire collegiate career, and that's what you do. Granted, the offensive line was not good. He did not have time. He was under siege just about the entire game. that said, you still can't make the mistakes that he made. So, so much more to go over with those quarterbacks. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Metaphor writes, in the hunt now in NFL Network graphics. Okay, look, that's all I ever asked for is we get to November and we're still in the hunt. We got work to do though. But I told you, because that 7 seed is so convoluted and somebody's going to get in there with 9 wins, I still think it's going to take 9 victories to do it. We can get to 9 now. I didn't think after we lost to Denver, I didn't think we were getting to 9 because I didn't think we were beating the Bucs. And in order to get to 9, we would have had to beat the Bucs, which we did, and that would give you some leeway to lose a game or 2 down the stretch and still have a chance. You know what I'm saying? You can to get to 9, we can only lose 2 more games. I thought we were going to lose today, and that would only leave us with margin for error for 1 loss. We can do this schedule and win, 7 out of our final 9. We can do that. We're capable. But it's going to take consistency. This is 1. Now can we get 2? All right. Josh Kirby, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Josh Kirby writes, sat next to a creamsicled out Bucs fan at the bar with my Ron's Plan shirt on. Boy, it was fun. Best part, he left at the start of the 4th. Damn, he didn't give his team a chance. Hey, that had to feel great, Josh. Thanks for repping the Louie Tee Network by sporting your Ron's Plan T, but also for holding us down. And I know that Bucs fan didn't think he was going to sit down at the bar today and see his team get manhandled, but that's what happened. Now, I say manhandled and we won by 10, but we were sitting on pins and needles, that entire 4th quarter, expecting Brady to do us at some point. But what we did was we effectively manhandled their defense. I already said 11 of 19 on 3rd downs, 2 of 2 on 4th downs, right? And that last drive, I mean, if that's not manhandling, I don't know what else is. So good for you, Josh. Oh, it feels good sometimes to be able to just be able to readjust your shoulders a little bit like Terry does sometimes. Like, just let you know. We do it like that sometimes. Not a lot, but sometimes. Door Gunner, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Door Gunner writes, what up, Lou? Just woke up and it's 1 a.m. First thing I see is you aren't dressed in black. Speaking of veterans, salute to you and all that you do and all of your comrades out there, man, holding us down like always. Really appreciate you, Door Gunner. He says, shocked to say the least. About time I woke up to good news. Oh, man. It feels that much better knowing that you woke up to great news today. Yeah, you got accustomed to seeing the black backdrop, me in all black, and knowing what time it was. But not today. Not today. And it feels good. Yeah, it feels good. Definitely feels good to me. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Carolina whooping that Cardinal ass. I figured they would because Kyler was probably not going to play. Cole and then DeAndre Hopkins wasn't going to play. And I said it was cute what they did last week with Colt McCoy, but Carolina's defense ain't San Francisco's defense. So I'm not surprised. I probably should have had the balls to take Carolina this week, but I've been bitching up all year long, so I get what I deserve. Dominic Milford, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Dominic writes, love the show, Lou. Been hanging with you in Street Scores for years now. Thank you for that. He says, game felt special. Love how we came out. Improved play and play calling up from here. Question mark. Feels like second half could be our time to finally shine. Again, consistency is what I always harken back to. It's one game, but I thought Scott Turner did a great job of play calling. I thought he did a great job of sticking with the run, even though this Buccaneers team feels like at times impossible to run against. Gibby had, I think, his most carries of the season in this game since week 1 when he had over 20 against the Chargers. I don't think I'm curious now because I know he had 24 in this game, 24 for 62 yards, I believe. Let's see. 24 for 64 and 2 touchdowns. I don't think he had 24 carries in any other game since week 1. And week 1, I think it was 20 carries. 20 for 90 in week 1. Giants game, 13 carries. Bills game, 12 carries. Falcons game, 14 carries. Saints game, 20 carries again. Chiefs game, JD had 8 carries, was one of our leading rushers. Packers game, Heineke had 10 carries, was one of our leading rushers. Broncos game, 11 carries for Jared Patterson, and Gibby had 13 that game. So this game represented the most carries he's had all season, and that's a testament to Scott Turner not forgetting to run the football. And when we got in the red zone, not trying to get Heineke to be special. No, give it to Antonio Gibson and let him muscle the damn football in there and let the offensive line do their job and get him in the end zone. And on both touchdowns, that's exactly what he did. Now, I think the only reason that he ran it 4 straight times on that last set of downs where we scored the touchdown is because the Buccaneers had no timeouts and you couldn't put it in the air and risk an incompletion and giving Brady an additional 40 seconds. So I think if they would have had time, let's say the Buccaneers had 2 timeouts and it didn't matter what you did, he probably would have thrown the shit and it would have been incomplete. We would have had to settle for a field goal. Brady would have had 2 timeouts and a minute and 31 seconds left. But because they had used all their time, because that drive was so taxing and they had to spend their timeouts, he had to do the smart thing after the 2-minute warning, and that's run it twice so that no matter what happened, whether we scored a field goal, we kicked the field goal, we got it on a touchdown on the 4th down like we did, or we failed on 4th down and they got it back and had to drive the length of the field. No matter what, they weren't going to have any timeouts and they were going to have less than 30 seconds. So I'm glad he was forced into that position, but I just thought overall he stuck with the run. And I was so happy to see that because there were times where the Buccaneers were in the backfield. How many times we had tackled for a loss in this game? At least 3 or 4. He could have easily quit on the run, but he didn't. We'll see if the play calling is improved down the stretch. This is a good start, though. Thank you for the super chat, Dominic. Fat American, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, and thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, great win today. One person that hasn't gotten enough recognition is Larson, the backup center. He performed well. Shaka and Tuhill made plays as well. And I mentioned Tyler Lawson already as our center. And just a tremendous job. Vita Vea is one of the biggest bullies in the league. And we had none of that today. And, obviously there were probably times where he was double teaming with the guard, but still, the fact that we didn't mention Tyler Lawson today speaks volumes. Shaka Tony had a pressure on a 3rd down that forced Brady to throw it into the ground. And I don't know what Tuhill did or didn't do, but as a whole, guys stepped up. No, we didn't know that Chase was going to go down and that there were going to be that many snaps to go around for Bumney Rutimi or, Casey Tuhill or James Smith-Williams, who we knew was going to have to step up. But guys stepped in and did what they had to do. So, we got it done. Hidden Rain. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Hidden Rain, Pac-Man D3. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, can't be a loser when your logo is a dub. Lou the GOAT. No, you're the GOAT. Thank you for your support and all that you do, especially in the mob, man. You were holding it down today. It was fun. It was fun in the mob, but it's always fun when you win. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying much. Anyway, you're right. You can be. We've proven you can be a loser with a dub as your logo. But we'll see what the logo is moving forward because we think it's subject to change next February. But for now, we'll see. Trevor Patch, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Trevor Patch, greatly appreciate you. Trevor Patch writes, I need some NFC East super friends before the stretch. I might have to reach out and see if we can't make that happen. I mean, shit's gone sideways and gotten away from us with the Cowboys playing as well as they played. And we won't hear the end of that when we jump up there. But got to give the credit where credit is due. They're playing exceptional football. So I'll see if we can reach out and maybe make something happen, like you said, before the stretch run of the season. It'd be nice to do it right before we head into, those final 5 weeks of the season where we have 5 NFC East games to finish up. And we'll know where we are at that point, whether the season, same with the Eagles and the Giants, we'll all know by then, because that's in about a good 3 weeks maybe from now. I think we got the Panthers, then the Seahawks, and then the, if I'm not mistaken, the Raiders, and then it's 5 straight NFC East games to finish out. So after that, I think we should know where all 3 of these teams lie and what the end of their season prospects look like. So we'll try to see if we can get something done. Ishmael Benitez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, depth of this team is about to be tested. It's already been tested. And I feel like they've been passing with flying colors. It's already been tested. We've had injuries since week 4, significant injuries, and a plethora of them since week 4, since that Falcons game. And we fielded a competent team every single week. Now, the outcome of the games may not have been what we wanted them to be, but it hasn't been because we don't have enough on the field. That's never been the case. And again, a testament to Ron and his group for making sure that this roster is filled out from 1 to 53. So the depth has always been tested. I think the defensive in-depth specifically is what's going to be tested because we never envisioned both of those guys being out at once. Maybe one being out, but not both. Tight end depth was already tested when Logan Thomas went down. Now that Ricky Seals-Jones has gone down, it's an even greater emphasis being put on Logan returning this week. If he doesn't, Jay Sternberger, I don't know if he's still in the practice squad or not. Next man up. That depth may be tested again at tight end, and we may see more of Sammy's Reyes than we had bargained for initially, but that's where we are with it right now. Joe Rockhead J, thank you for becoming a member of the MOBB. Joe Rockhead J, stand up. You are officially a member of the MOBB. Mob, you know what to do. Show Joe Rockhead J some love. Whether you are upping your membership or you're down a little bit on it, whatever the case may be, love it all the same. Joe Rockhead J, thank you for becoming the newest member of the squad. Squad, y'all know what to do. Squad up. Show that man some love. Alex Bonfield, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Alex writes, Ron's first 7 seasons at Carolina, he won 48% of his games in September, 36 in October, 65 in November, 77 in December. What does that say about his coaching style? That his teams get better as the season wears on. And for whatever that, for whatever it's worth, it also means they start seasons off slow, which you don't want to do. You don't want to dig yourself a hole. You don't want to be playing from behind. Like today, it was fun playing with the lead. We didn't trail a single time in the game today. When's the last time we've led wire to wire in a football game? Don't ask me. I can't tell you. I don't know the last time we've led wire to wire in a football game. Was it that Cowboys Thanksgiving game? Was it? I think we trailed against the 49ers at some point in that game early on. I don't think we led wire to wire in that game. I was going to say the Eagles game in week 17, but I feel like we were trailing in that game at some point, that they took a lead on us. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I felt like they did take the lead. I don't know. Either way, it's been a while since we've been a wire-to-wire winner against the Super Bowl defending champions, no less. But to your point, Ron's teams, and I've made this point before, I haven't had the actual percentages as you do, so thank you for that. Ron's teams always have historically been better as the season wore on, which means that the message seems to get through as the season progresses. Guys don't ever quit on Ron. They continue to play hard for him. And, you know, they get better when the season gets cold. It gets colder outside and shit gets tough. His teams are tough physically, mentally, and they find ways to get it done. And we've seen Ron go on runs with teams that were below 500 to make the playoffs. He's done that multiple times in Carolina. Obviously, the 15-1 year where they go to the Super Bowl was phenomenal. And they were exceptional that year in every single month. And their one loss actually came in the latter portion of the month in December, in the latter portion of the year, I should say, in December. But that said, we saw what he did with this team last year. You know, November and into December was his best, months. November, I think, was his best month. I think we might have went undefeated in November last year, starting with the win over the Bengals. I don't know, that Lions game might have been the first week of November. Then we beat them, the Bengals, and then we beat Dallas on Thanksgiving. So it couldn't have been a flawless November. It was like middle of November to the beginning of December where we were hot. Either way, he gets hot this time of the year. So we'll see. That bye week couldn't have come at a better time. And now we'll see if it carries over into next week. But what that says is that his players don't quit on him ever. And as the season wears on, they get better and they become a tougher out. And we saw that with Ron last year, and we may be seeing a repeat of that this year. We'll see. Joe Rockhead J, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for becoming a member of the MOBB. Who writes, what's up, Lou? What's up, Joe Rockhead J? I was at the game. I was a witness. It felt so good considering what I was bracing for. Celebrate! Washington football team. Hail to the Washington football team. Anybody that was there, salutes to you, man, because it's never easy going to a game when you expect to get your brains bashed in. And, you know, you had already bought the ticket, so it's no turning back. Obviously, you could have sold it, but you bought the ticket because you wanted to go to the game, not because you wanted to sell it. So you say, all right, I know we're going to get smoked, and I'm probably going to have to deal with a bunch of Buccaneers fans coming in and taking over the stadium, but it is what it is. I'm still going. I'm going to support my team. I want to see what the hell's going on. And to get there and get what you got and to never trail in the game, to have the offense respond the way that it did, to have the defense create the turnovers that it did. Did y'all see the guy on TV saying, you know, y'all turn it up. Come on, turn it up. And he's raising the roof. Turn it up. Well, we turned it up, damn it. We turned it up for you. Got the dang on dub in the process. Salutes to you, Joe Rockhead J, Trevor Patch, and anybody else that was in attendance. Y'all did y'all job. Anytime anybody goes to a game, I say the same thing. You know what to do. Bring home the dub, and y'all did it in a major way in this game. Salutes to y'all. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Metaphor writes, Bucs fan thought it was a Ron Burgundy shirt. Probably did. He's like, Ron's playing. Must be talking about Ron Burgundy. Maybe he did. If he didn't know, now he knows. All you had to do was look at the back of the shirt. That wasn't Ron Burgundy, but he still probably didn't know. Anyway, I digress. Fat American, double up, thank you for doubling up, Fat American. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Eric Flowers, DeAndre Carter, and Leno. They ultimately are credited to Ron, but wouldn't those moves be under Martin Mayhew and company? Good moves. Yes, that's what I said. Ron and company. That's what I called it. Ron and his staff are credited with those moves because they were made this offseason after Ron hired those guys. Remember, the DeAndre Carter signing was really credited to Martin Mayhew because Mayhew and him overlapped in San Francisco. So he had some working knowledge of him. I thought that, DeAndre Carter played for Ron in Carolina, but I was mistaken. And a lot of you pointed that out to me. And then a few of you even went as far as to say, hey, here's where the connect is in the link. And it's to Martin Mayhew. So yeah, a lot of the credit has to be given to those guys. They're not out of the woods yet. I mean, not all of these guys have panned out to this point, but it's always cool when you hit on the big money dudes. You want to hit on those guys, especially when you're spending good money on them. But, it's the smaller signings to me that fill out a roster, that give you the depth that you covet and seek. And it's ultimately what makes your team good or not good. You want your frontline players to be good, and you rely on those guys to be consistent week in and week out. But it's the ancillary pieces. It's the supporting cast. Those are the guys that are ultimately going to give you a chance to win on a weekly basis, because guys are going to get hurt and you're going to need other guys to step up. So the Bobby McCain signing, the Charles Leno Jr. signing, the DeAndre Carter signing, the Eric Flowers trade, like these are all impactful moves right now that are helping this team stay afloat with all the injuries. Ricky Seals-Jones, don't forget about that one. Like, these are all guys that weren't here last year, that are here this year. And, we didn't expect much, but here we are. And these were key contributors to this point. 1/6 Double Doc. Thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. 1/6 Double Doc, who writes, I feel you, Lou. I'm very superstitious. I'm going to be wearing the same drawers all week. Don't do that. Unless you're washing them every day. Don't do that. Come on, man. He says, still feel like TH in some ways is a rookie and may continue to grow and become a Jeff Garcia or Doug Flutie type. It's possible. But the question is, do you want that as your starting quarterback? That's the question. That shouldn't be the goal, is to get a Jeff Garcia. You can win with Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia went 13-3 multiple times in his career, 12-4. Like, he was a good NFL quarterback. You can win games with a Jeff Garcia type. You're probably not going to win a Super Bowl with a Jeff Garcia type, though. But I would take, if Heineke turned into that, I'd take it in a heartbeat. T-Mel Stevens, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, good to see you still going in, Lou. Hashtag feels good to win. You're damn right it does. Feels real good. Victory Sundays and Mondays are so sweet, man. I got some pineapple in the fridge, right? And when you see that deep yellow, it's going to be a juicy, succulent piece. That's what this feels like. I can't wait to sink my teeth into one of those deep yellow, succulent, juicy, sweet pieces of pineapple. That's what this win feels like. Tastes like heaven. Thank you for the super chat, T-Mel Stevens. Got a super chat here from Colton Wheeler. Thank you for the super chat, Colton. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Colton writes, sup, Lou? Sup, Colton? Says, great to see John Allen come out and earn his money this year. He's got my vote for team MVP so far. DeAndre Carter for pleasant surprise of the year. Both of those are great nominations, and I don't disagree with you at all. Like Jonathan Allen, when he got that deal, there were a lot of Washington fans out there that were cool with the signing, but they thought it was over, an overpayment. Like, okay, they wanted to keep him. They really value his leadership in the locker room, but this dude ain't worth $18 million a year per on an extension on 4 years, $72 million. Like, what are they doing? And all of those people have been proven wrong. And I had no problems with him getting that bread at all. But I was one of those people that said, hey, if you're going to let one of these dudes walk, let it be Jonathan Allen. Nah. If it's any of these dudes, it'll probably be Daron Payne, but we'll see. But Jonathan Allen has definitely come out and earned his keep. I mean, and all people want to talk about are sacks. What about the third down early in the game? Now, they ultimately went for it on fourth down and got it. But Jonathan Allen, disengaging, getting to the running back and tackling him for a no gain on 3rd and 1, setting up a 4th and 1 that they Brady ultimately quarterback sneaked and got. But that's what Jonathan Allen brings to the table. It's not just in the pass game, it's in the run game as well. It's been outstanding. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Metaphor writes, I don't know about FedEx. Home crowd was loud on TV copy. Look, the home crowd can be loud when they give them something to cheer about. But I'm pretty sure it was a good mixture of Bucs fans there. Ask anybody that was there. I bet you they tell you. No, it was either 50-50 or it was like 55-45. Like the Bucs were in heavy representation in the stadium. I saw it when they would pan shots around the field. They did a good job of keeping the shots tight on just Washington fans, and it would be like, 12 Washington fans in that one section. I'm pretty sure if they opened up the shot, we'd see a lot more Tampa Bay Buccaneers jerseys, but even a couple of the shots they had were plenty of Bucs fans there. So anyway, yeah, they were loud. Give them something to cheer about. They can get loud. The Great. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, what's happening, Lou? What's going on with you? Good win today. Feels like Jameis eating that dub today. That's right. Quick update. I did pass my bar exam. Appreciate the well wishes. Salute. Congratulations, man. Congratulations on the great news. That is awesome. And now all that's left for you to do is either find work, which is not always the easiest thing to do, but half the battle is passing that bar, and becoming licensed. So, a lot of people don't understand that going to law school, all that does is it prepares you to take and pass the bar exam. Going to law school and graduating doesn't ensure you anything. You could not go to law school, take the bar, pass it, and be able to practice law. But passing the bar is so tough. There's so many different things you have to know. I once was in that space of trying to be where you are. So I know the work that goes into what you have embarked upon. And I can't tell you how proud I am of you, man. Never met you. Doesn't matter. I'm so proud of you because you just put in some serious work, my friend. And I'm glad to see you be able to reap the benefits of what you've done. Now, go out and find some work and be a kick-ass attorney, man. Whatever field you decide to be in, whether you're a defense attorney, you're working for the state, whatever it is you end up doing. You're an entertainment attorney, whatever you decide to do, best of luck to you, man. Congratulations. And the squad got you a win today. And I don't know how long ago you passed the bar, but big ups to you once again. Hidden Rain, Pac-Man D3, double up, thank you for doubling up. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I had to double up. I love it. Says, hit that like button and subscribe. Y'all know what it is. Y'all heard the man. Hit the like button and subscribe. For those of you out there who haven't already done so, please bless the kid and hit the subscribe button for more great content. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and also hit the like button as it helps this channel grow exponentially. Thank you so much, Pac-Man D3. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, anyone see ESPN yesterday? High school kid scores 8 touchdowns Friday night after his mom died Thursday. Even TB12 gave respect at my town's high school. Know the dad. I didn't see that. But that's some pretty chilling stuff. I did see the Tom Brady story of the kid that had cancer. And, he was a massive Brady fan, or is a massive Brady fan. And Brady, after the game, he went to a Bucs game. And Brady went and gave him, I want to say it was a hat. He put a hat on his head. It was crazy stuff. Can't make this stuff up. It's like Hollywood stuff. So, and that's what you're describing sounds like something similar to that. That's just crazy. And, it was a slight reprieve for him, but, it's tough when you lose someone like that. And he was going out honoring his mom and he scored 8 times. That's crazy. Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T, here on Washington Football Overtime. The good guys, 29, the Buccaneers, 19. Who would have thought? And there were some of you out there that did think, I was not one of them, that this could happen. Wow, wow, and wow. Start to finish, wire to wire win for Washington. Again, can't remember the last time we've had one of those. And we'll be talking about this one for years. The epic marathon, 19-play, 80-yard, 10-minute, and 26-second drive to cap off the game with a touchdown and an exclamation point to beat the Buccaneers 29-19. It'll be one of those drives we'll be talking about for years to come. It was one of the best games we've watched this season all around. Defensive play calling, offensive play calling, Ron Rivera, even the challenge that he had with Kendall Fuller, I thought it was a great challenge. He lost it, but he was in tune to what was going on in the game. I loved it. Went for it on fourth down when he needed to, kicked the field goals when he needed to. I thought Ron was locked in today. Thought it was a total team win. And for the first time in a long time, well, nope, we had a turnover. I was about to say, we didn't turn it over. Yes, we did. Dax Milne had the fumble. But we picked him up, we dusted him off, and we won the game. And that's what good teams do. You pick your teammates up. That's one win. Keep it in its proper perspective, but celebrate. Okay? Enjoy this. Savor it. But it's one win. We've had one win before this season. We haven't had two in a row. The schedule's softening up now. And if we can beat Tampa Bay, and this is what wins like this do for your psyche, if we can beat Tampa Bay, we can beat anybody. That's what they're saying now. We're going to find out. Got to see the damage from the game. Sheriff finished, but is he good to go next week? Is Cosme back next week? Do we get De'Ami Brown next week? How's Terry after this game? He took some bumps and bruises. RSJ, I'm thinking we're going to be without him. He'll probably end up on IR. Can we get Logan Thomas back? Is Curtis Samuel ever coming back? And if not, just put him on IR. A lot of questions, not a lot of answers right now. Don't worry about any of that right now. Celebrate! We just beat the Super Bowl defending champion, snapped a 4-game losing streak, and got back in the left-hand column. Damn, it feels good to be a Washington football team fan today, even if it's only for one day. That's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. Remember, I'm a Washington fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold until we meet again. Hail to our beloved Washington football team. See you guys tomorrow. How sweet it is to get the dub. I'll see you guys tonight for overtime, tomorrow for nightly. Until then, enjoy the win.
Louie Tee Network.